cares? Who cares? Y'all beat the Celtics. Y'all still
That's a
suck.
2-game winning streak.
Y'all beat the Celtics and Lakers. Y'all still suck though.
Trying to tell people we're making a late play-in push. People want to doubt. It's cool. We're only
That's-
16 and a half games back of the Lakers.
You know what? Somebody told me this before, yo. When people get spoiled, they just don't know how to act when things don't get their way. You feel me?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
If I am consistently, let's say if you have a girl, right? And I'm consistently making you breakfast in bed. And the few times where I don't make you breakfast in bed, you're gonna scrutinize me for it, or do it a little bit later than usual. And my head, I'm thinking, why are you getting mad at me? Because not a lot of people is doing this for you. If I'm on time for majority of the times we're on open gym, why am I getting spam L host for the times where I'm just 2 minutes late? What we talking about?
You
What we doing?
you set an expectation. It's like, for example, if Steph Curry shoots 40% from free consistently, when he has a game shooting 20% from free, people are like, "What's going on? That's not you. We expect you to shoot 40%." Like people expect us to be on time. If we were always late by 10 minutes, if you started today 2 minutes late, people would accept that. But because we're always on time, starting 2 minutes late, even though it's the same amount of time, you said
That's my point. That's my point. I don't think it's okay to crucify people when they've already set a bar that's already better than the standard that we've had throughout PC, right?
Yeah, but you got to live up to the standard that you set. You can't just fall below the standard and say, well, it's still higher than everyone else's standard. No, you got to live up to the standard you set.
So you telling me I can't have a sick day?
I'm not saying anything. What all I'm saying is that my team has won 4 of its last 7 games, and we're making a playoff push. That's all I'm saying.
Playoff push, Mars. Aren't you guys out the playoff contention?
I think we can catch the Lakers if they lose every game and we win every game.
No, you guys are eliminated, Mars. What are you talking about?
No, we're not.
It's literally says.
No, here's the thing: the standings are tricking people into thinking that we can't make it. But if every team from 10 to 14 loses every game, and we win every game, we can make it.
Shut up, Mars.
Okay.
Like, what is wrong with you? Shout out to everybody in the chat, bro. 3 minutes late is crazy, and that I gotta do better is wild, bro. The top video is Miami should not be a dark horse in the East. For some reason, I hear a lot of people giving Miami love, and I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why. We're still on the plan right now. We're in 7th seed. We're probably gonna overtake Brooklyn, but even then, like, we'll be facing Philadelphia in the first round, and I don't like our chances to beat them. I don't like our chances to beat anybody besides maybe Milwaukee, because we always do well against them. And honestly, Mars, that's the only reason, because we always play well against them. But even then, I still think we might lose. I still think we'll lose. If I have the bet on it, I still think we will lose against Milwaukee.
Hating on your team is crazy.
I'm not hating. Like, people want objectivity, bro. I gotta be objective. Like, we're not that good.
But yeah, you believe in the Lakers, who lost to the best team in the West last night.
It's the best team in the West, so it's okay.
But I mean, if they're title contenders, they gotta beat us. That's what they gotta do.
Who, the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. The Nuggets got killed by the San Antonio Spurs. You're not overrating that, right?
Killed is a bit of a drag, but no, yeah, that the Nuggets are with the month of March, so it's all right. It's the month of March. It's the month of March.
Yo, bro, that was so crazy, bro. As people started using that, somebody asked me that same question. They asked me, they was like, "Yo, since the Nuggets are losing in the month of March, are they title favorites right now?" I'm like, "Shut up."
Are they? Why not?
You seen my video yesterday with the Celtics, right?
Yeah, I was watching parts of it. I didn't watch it fully. I saw you and Gabe talking about it. Gabe was getting cooked. But this, like, what made you want to check teams' records in March?
Because I knew in my mind frame, I was like, I know for a fact Golden State Warriors struggled after the All-Star break. I was like, I know for a fact Milwaukee wasn't that good after the All-Star break. So I was like, let me check everybody who who was winning and losing in the All-Star break. And it was literally almost every single team that won the title was struggling after the All-Star break. So people with the dumb logic of they're struggling after the All-Star break, man. You can't be this high on them. Literally almost every single team for the last 6 years struggled after the All-Star break, and they won titles. You want to know why? Because they're getting ready for the postseason. They're not really taking it as serious because they're trying to get ready for the postseason. Resting guys, sitting out here playing, they already earned their spot. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, so that's why I checked it. And then when I checked it, I was like, oh, you guys are nuts. Like, y'all don't know basketball, bro. I swear, bro. Some of the reasonings people find is just so annoying. They're losing to the Knicks. They're losing to this guy. They're losing to... Shut up. Shut up.
So Denver are gonna win the title. They've lost 4 straight on purpose. They played Detroit today. They're gonna lose to Detroit, and then they're gonna go into the playoffs and just beat everyone.
Denver's defense is different.
Nah, but the defense isn't trying because it's post All-Star break and they're just trying to get to the playoffs.
Nah, Mars. It don't work for them.
Damn.
Not for them. Nah, but I wouldn't sit here and say that they're not title contenders though. I just don't have faith in them like that. But if somebody told me the Nuggets are title contenders, it's like, okay, cool. Like,
give a percentage chance that Denver win the title.
So I'm gonna give you my top 5 to win the title. We're gonna have I have Boston, then the Suns. That's like 1A, 1B for me. After that, I'll give it to Philly.
You want to say Philly. You want to say Philly.
No, Bucks are gonna beat Philly.
Oh my god.
Bucks are gonna beat Philly. What are we talking about? I'll give it to the Bucks. I'll give it to the Lakers. And then I'll give it to the Nuggets.
So Philly aren't even top 5. Okay.
I don't know. My whole thing is when I look at James Harden, I think Embiid's amazing. But when I just look at James Harden, bro, I'm looking like I think what's gonna happen last season is gonna be a bit of a repeat. I don't think he's that guy, that secondary guy. Unless they play off of Maxey more in the postseason, I think they have a chance. But James Harden, bro, he takes so many tough contested threes. He just makes it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. He takes a lot of tough shots.
That's always been James Harden though. Which is
why he dropped off in the postseason. So it's like, why do I not expect him to drop off again?
You can expect him to drop off, but the issue is in Houston, the drop off was more noticeable because they needed every ounce of his regular season production in the playoffs. I don't think the way Philly is set up, they need James Harden to be as good as he is in the regular season. They need him to play to a similar level, like 90%. But if he goes from, I think he's like 40% from 3. If he shoots like 36%, 37%, I think they survive. Just because they have that extra self-creation with Embiid. Embiid's still going to get free throws. As long as Embiid's healthy, I think that's as far. They go as far as Embiid's health takes them, in my opinion, which is why I think they're going to win the title, like my preseason pick.
You switched up on them so many times, which is funny.
I switched up on them twice. They started the season. So preseason. This is what happened. Preseason.
This is why I don't like you sometimes, Mars. You got to roll with your picks, regardless of how crazy it is, man.
So this is what happened. So preseason, I said I had Philly winning the title. Everyone looked at me crazy. I was like, nah, I believe in them. And then, who was it that got hurt? It was Harden. I think Harden went and missed a month. And now I was watching Philly. I'm like, they're not moving me. I don't know if I like this take. Doc Rivers is doing Doc Rivers things. So I was like, I'm not really believing. Then James Harden comes back. I see Doc Rivers making adjustments in games against the Denver Nuggets. I'm like, maybe Doc Rivers has developed. I'm like, I'm starting to feel Philly again. I'm like, yeah, maybe let me stand on this Philly train. And now I'm here. So no matter what happens, I'm standing on the Philadelphia take. I was off them for a month because of James Harden's injury, but I'm gonna stay 10 toes.
Say 10 toes down. Yeah. I respect it. My whole thing is with Embiid. I trust Embiid. I will say that I do trust Embiid, but James Harden, I'm sorry, bro. He's just I just feel like he's just gonna let them down. When I see him, even in the regular season, I think a lot of what he's getting off now, he can get off because it's the regular season. But when you got the Marcus Smarts or Drew Holiday's guarding you, bro, you got people really trying to lock you up. He's gonna be struggling. I see him get locked up a couple times, and I'm like, James, like, this is really bad for you, bro. So that's my whole thing.
I saw him unable to get past Chris Middleton. That was disappointing. But I mean, We'll see.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes he gets locked up on guys that aren't even that good of a defender too. And I'm just like, boys, it's not good.
Yeah, but they still have Embiid and PJ Tucker. So
What? Don't bring up PJ Tucker.
you were upset that Miami lost him. Why can't I bring him up?
Huh?
You were upset that Miami lost him. So clearly he's valuable.
He's valuable, but
Okay, so
we
PJ
need
Tucker.
they need that secondary guy, man. That's why I say Tyrese Maxey. If Tyrese Maxey shows out, I'll believe in them. But
Philadelphia have the best second guy in the East.
the best second guy in the East?
Yes.
In terms of scoring or just passing?
Playing basketball. He's the second best second guy.
Nah,
He's the best second guy.
I'm talking about scoring. I'm talking about scoring.
But they have the best scorer in the East anyway, so they don't need James Harden to be the best scoring second guy. They have the best scorer in the conference.
It's about that bag, bro.
See, this is your Boston Celtics bias coming
that bag,
out.
bro.
This is your Boston Celtics. And everyone's saying Jaylen Brown. I'm sorry, but James Harden is better than Jaylen Brown. But
they're close to each other, though, right? Nah, never mind. They're not. Think about it.
James Harden is better than Jaylen Brown.
It's like comfortable. You know what? I'm with you there.
Comfortable.
I'm with you there. Because James Harden's what, top 15? Like top 15, top 20. And then Jaylen Brown's like end of top 20 and then top 25.
Jaylen Brown's like top 18. Like 18 is probably where he maxes out. James Harden, you could argue, is like 15, top 15. So, yeah. But for anyone who thinks Jaylen Brown is better than James Harden, I mean, this is open gym. You can come up and explain that take. Like, no one's stopping you. But you're wrong. But, yeah.
Facts. All right, let's get into it, bro. Shout out to Leaf, man. Appreciate Leaf, bro. He's calling me. Let me read a super chat, bro. Drake want water. There was a super chat about who is the best pick and roll defender, and they said Giannis. Most disagreed, so I looked into it. Giannis allows 0.74. What's PPP?
Points per possession.
Points per possession when guarding the ball handler, and allows 0.77 points per possession against the roll man. I don't know how those numbers compare to everybody else. So, Mars, is that good or bad?
I mean, those numbers are good, but what I'm looking at, he allows 0.87, 88 against the ball handler. So I don't know what you're looking at. Maybe what I'm looking at is incorrect. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just saying what I'm looking at, he allows 0.878 against the ball handler, and against the roll man is 0.74. So they're still very good numbers. He's one of the best pick and roll defenders, but just what I'm looking at is not saying what you just said. So that's it.
Got you. I need to keep everybody in mind that I am just looking to get brand new guests on here, so always be sure the lobby is welcome for everybody. Anybody who's been here before, you're just not gonna get free reigns over those people, so keep that in mind. Mars, also, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to mention, huh?
What did you forget to do?
Said what?
What did you forget to do?
I forget to talk about our GOAT members, bro. King J is our GOAT member, bro. Always keep that in mind. And also Comatose joined the category. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. I got that all off. But we got the GOAT in the building. Gerald.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hello.
How's your Wi-Fi? Is good?
It's okay. I'm getting a little echo in the back, but I'm okay, though.
All right, that's good, bro. As long as we can communicate, I'm with that, bro.
Anthony Davis pick and roll numbers look better than Giannis based on what I'm looking at right now. So just want to let everyone know that.
Good. Keenan, I think the Wi-Fi is acting up a little bit, my guy. Kenan, whenever you get a chance, bro, when your Wi-Fi is good, bro, let me know what's up, man. What's up, Steven? How you doing, bro?
What's good, bro? What's good?
Good. So what you guys got to say today, man?
So the Thomas Mom is a dark horse. I look at the Miami Heat right now. I think they're a good team this year, but I think they were better last year.
Miami was better last year, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think the biggest problem is they don't have Tucker anymore.
Facts. See PJ Tucker. I'm trying to tell you, PJ Tucker. I know.
Bro,
Boo.
I've
I
been
know
saying,
boo.
Mars, don't
Because-
do that. I've been saying
because
that
we have-
all year.
Because you have to look at it, though, right? Tucker was on Miami last year, conference finals, right? He was in Milwaukee, finals, and won a championship.
Mm-hmm. You talking about Jake? You talking about PJ Tucker, right?
Yeah.
The thing that Miami desperately needed, why we were so successful in 2020 and 2021, was that versatile wing guy at the 4 position, right? So your Jay Crowder and your PJ Tucker, a guy where maybe they don't have to play the 5-man all the time, but they can guard the 5 every now and then, and play some good defense and can play on the perimeter. So somebody like that who could also stretch the floor out by hitting those threes, those timely threes, it really helped our defense. It helped our offense as well, and also just I think having more reliable scoring as well. 2021, I thought people was like, "Oh, your offense isn't that good." Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler and Lowry, I thought they were pretty fine. But this season, I think our offense has taken a hit. I don't think it's the same as it was last season. I think our defense has taken a hit as well because of PJ Tucker. So it's like why you guys have so much faith? I think y'all just want to sit here and try to get me mad. Be like, "Oh yeah, I don't think Boston's gonna beat Miami." It's like, come on, bro. We don't have to cap.
Who says that besides Ticket?
I heard people
No,
say it.
just-
I've heard people say it.
No, I just think if you look at all the teams who've won champions over the last few years, you have to have grit and grind players, though.
So what?
You got to have grit and grind players like enforcers, like PJ Tucker, Crowder, Perkins, PJ Brown in the past. If you don't have players like that, you can't win a championship. You just can't.
That's facts.
Is Jimmy Butler an enforcer?
Because that's why I don't
No,
think the
Jimmy Butler
Lakers
is
will
not
win the
an
championship. Because why? They don't have those guys. They just don't have them.
Wait, you said Jimmy
Lakers
Butler
won.
is not an enforcer?
The Lakers don't have those kind of players. They don't have a PJ Tucker. They don't have a Jay Crowder. They don't have a JaVale McGee type player. See, back when they won the title a couple of years ago, they had the JaVale McGees, the Danny Greens, those kind of Casey Crusoe players. If you don't have players like that, though, it's going to be very hard to win a title.
What's
Vanderbilt-
what's Jared Vanderbilt? Facts. Facts.
No, I think Vanderbilt is their enforcer though.
Vanderbilt's a good player, but the problem is he's too young. He's too young and he's too inexperienced yet.
All right, that's not bad though. I'm not mad at that. You talking about a veteran guy being that enforcer?
Yeah.
Being that
So they
intimidator.
should have.
I
So they should have kept
think through
Patrick Beverley.
I think through time, Vanderbilt could be that guy, but I think he still needs more time to grow and evolve. Still, he's still at the beginning stage of his career.
That's not bad.
So what about LeBron? LeBron's 38. What about LeBron?
Is LeBron the enforcer?
W.
I think the problem with LeBron is always I think LeBron's age has caught up to him, and he's not the defender he once was anymore.
Do you
don't
think that's
he
more
can
because
turn it
of
up in the playoffs? You don't think he can I don't know, sit down,
flip
just
the
get
switch?
ready? Yeah,
Flip the
pretty much.
switch. Because I'm not gonna lie, I know LeBron James for being that. So LeBron, I don't think he can hear you much, but not Lamar. LeBron James being the guy, I know that he is. He'll be able to turn it up whenever he wants to. I do think.
I mean, it can turn it up, no question about it. But I think his age has caught up to him too much, though, where he has all this mileage on him, where he just can't play at that elite level anymore.
I think he could. Maybe not like top 5, top 10. I think he'd be
No.
like a above average defender, 100%.
Well, I think if you need a stop, he can get you a stop if you need it, though. But I don't think he's gonna. But I don't think he's gonna be able to do it because through the whole playoffs, where it's like the whole grind of it.
I feel you. That's why I think against the Suns, he's not gonna be playing no defense against the Suns. I promise you.
My problem with the Suns was this.
KD or Devin Booker.
My biggest problem with the Suns was they have a good starting 5, but I think once you get to their bench, though, their bench can be had.
Who, the Lakers bench?
No, the Suns bench.
I mean, Torrey Craig and Okogie not playing that bad off the bench right now. I'm not gonna lie, they're not that bad. Don't blink like
Well,
that.
to me,
Craig, what's going on?
To me,
Not that
if I look at the Lakers bench,
Torrey
the Lakers
Craig,
bench is deeper than Phoenix's benches.
But I mean, when you have a firepower like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, I think they'll be able to get away with that.
Chris Paul firepower.
Passing firepower. You know, he'll
But
set the
here's the thing
guys up.
is,
You know what,
Yo, this-
Devin Booker. You know what,
the
Devin
Chris
Booker gets
Paul
me mad.
disrespect needs to stop.
And let me tell you why Devin Booker gets me mad. I was watching him play against the Bucks, and bro, it has been 2 years since you've been in the finals, and you still getting locked up 1-on-1 like this, bro. I'm sorry. Like, in my mind frame, you're a young guy, 2 years from that environment. I would expect you to get better. Devin Booker has been close to, if he's a 10 now in 2021, he was like a 9.5. He's not expanding upon his game, and he was getting locked up by Drew Holiday, bro. I was seeing him late in the fourth quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks, just 1-on-1 getting locked up. And I'm just sitting here, bro, like, Devin, like come on, bro. Like, this is not what they need from you, bro, especially in the postseason. We seen
no,
him last year get locked up by the Dallas Mavericks, and it's like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
no, I agree with you, Booker, though. But I think now that you have KD, though, KD's going to take some of the pressure off of Booker. So if Booker's off, KD can take some of the burden off of him, though. But Booker's going to have to step up if KD does have an off night. If he doesn't, they're going to get cooked.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. My whole thing is, I'm just Devin Booker in his game, and my mind frame is like, I expect this to not be a consistent thing with you. I expect this to at least get better over time, and you not still be stagnant. And it seems as if, like, Devin Booker's just stagnant.
He's improved defensively.
I don't care. I don't care. Who cares? Talk about bag, bro.
Has he
Oh, my
actually
fault.
gotten
Is his
better
is his
defensively?
is his head?
I think he's got better defensively. I mean, if you're talking about his hezzy tween, I mean, yeah. I mean, but he already had one like that. He was at top 10 hezzy tweens in the NBA. So how much better do you want it to be?
I just want him to not get locked up by one person, bro.
It's
That's
Drew
it.
Holiday though.
I don't care.
But
The Luka Doncic, and I don't want to, because this is a crazy standard I'm about to do. But at least Luka Doncic, what I seen from 2020 and 2021, where in 2020 it was like every single time where Kawhi Leonard went on Luka, struggling. He needed that switch. He needed to get Kawhi off him because he couldn't get anything off. And then in 2021. He can handle it. He can handle it better. He was improving upon it. He's making shots on Kawhi Leonard with him guarding him. It's like, come on, Book. I need you to progress, and you're not progressing the way I want you to.
To me, when I look at the West, though, right now, in my opinion, I think a team people need to watch out for is the Clippers.
Oh my God, not the Clippers, Gerald.
Listen. If you look at the Clippers as a whole of the team, though, they have the talent, they have the depth. They've got the experience. And I always said to you, if you look at all the teams that won the title the last 4 years, they all had depth, experience, defense.
I don't think they're
And the Clippers have all those ingredients.
I don't think
they're
they're
a prime example of why you shouldn't.
They do have depth. Look at the team. They have Kawhi, PG, Westbrook, Morris, Zubac, Covington, Batum, Gordon. Plumlee.
Is the Clippers beating the Warriors in a 7-game series?
Powell.
Yeah, because they'll have home court, and that means they'll win every home game. Because Golden State still can't win on the road. It'll probably go 7 because I think Golden State.
They're gonna go.
I just think they got a shot. I think a lot of people are overlooking them.
They're gonna go to 7.
I don't think the Clippers are that good.
They're not.
I don't think the Clippers are that good either. I think
they've won 4 in a row.
They beat Golden State.
They're playing a lot better basketball right now too, though. They're getting much more focused now.
Listen, we don't have to have recency bias, though. The defense, in my opinion, with the Clippers has not been good for the last 12 games or something like that. Like, they've been getting cooked. Like, cooked. It's crazy. They had 2 good defensive games against Toronto and New York, but other than that, I mean, when we listed off for you, like, Golden State had 126, Memphis had 129, Sacramento had 127. 128. Golden State had 115, and they lost.
Don't forget. In the playoffs, everything slows down in the playoffs, though, right? And they do have capable defenders. Kawhi is a capable defender. PG is a capable defender. Morris can play defense. Covington's a good defender. Batum's a solid defender.
Batum's not that bad, but I think Kawhi, his defense is regressing a bit, and PG, I think his defense isn't what it used to be either. But
I just said when the playoffs slow down, though, and possessions get fewer and fewer, though, and stuff, You're going to need guys who can get stops. And Kawhi and PG, they only want to. Kawhi can get you a stop.
Hey, man, I seen Donovan Mitchell not getting whatever he wanted on both of them. So when they face up against the Nuggets, like, come on, bro, they ain't have nobody to stop
Listen.
Jokic.
Donovan Mitchell's a very talented ball player, but until I see Donovan Mitchell get to a conference finals, I'm not sold on him either.
Oh my God!
Stop.
Oh my God, Gerald!
I'm sorry. He hasn't got to a conference final yet.
All right.
What is he going to get there?
If
gotta get there sooner or later.
If we're gonna be on the Donovan Mitchell thing, we need to talk about it. Donovan Mitchell, I feel as though Donovan Mitchell should not get blamed as much as he should have for those Utah years, because it's like, all right, defensively he could be a little bit shoddy, at least from his Utah Jazz years, but like offensively he was out the gate their best offensive player in my opinion. And I feel as though for Rudy is just I don't get the hype in Rudy. Me personally, I don't get it. I think his defense is very overrated. I'm gonna die on that hill. I don't care.
No, I agree. I do think Rudy Gobert's defense is overrated. But Utah had a good enough team for a lot of years, though. They weren't getting on the hump, though. You had Conley, who was a good player, a proven veteran. They had Bogdanovich there for years too, who was a good player, could score and shoot. They had Ingles as well too. Clarkson coming on the back being their sixth man. They had solid enough piece to get over the hump eventually. Then they didn't.
I feel like I feel as though the reason why they didn't excel as much as they should have is because their bench was very and then Rudy Gobert offensively was a very, 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 very big negative in the playoffs to me. I just think
damn.
So. I think
no love for his screen setting. That's crazy.
I'm not, bro. I'm not.
I get the whole Gobert thing. Bro. I'm not a big fan of Gobert either. I think Gobert is overrated too.
I believe in Gobert being overrated 100%. But
I do.
If you're saying Gobert's overrated and then you're saying Donovan Mitchell's overrated, why are you?
No. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's overrated though. I think Donovan Mitchell's a very good player. I think though, to be a great player, you have to eventually elevate yourself to another level.
So
like MJ did.
So what about
like MJ did, like Kobe did. You've got to be able to elevate your level to the next level and elevate the guys around you.
Elevate the guys around him, but
yes, you have to do that. If you're that guy, you've got to do it sooner or later, eventually.
To elevate the guys around him. How many people have like elevated the people around them?
A lot of guys have.
Who?
Isaiah Thomas did it when he won his championships. Joe Dumars won the finals MVP, played with Isaiah because he elevated his play around him, which helped. Jordan did with Pippen, with Grant and Kukoc. They elevated their play playing with Jordan.
Well, Joe Dumars was...
Maybe they were just really good at basketball.
Like Joe Dumars was Joe Dumars with or without Isaiah Thomas.
But Joe Dumars could ball, though, man. That guy could ball. He could play.
I know, but it wasn't predicated on Isaiah Thomas. It was just predicated on who Joe Dumars was.
But still, though.
Because even after Isaiah Thomas was getting out the league and getting hurt.
Okay, what about Hakeem then? When Hakeem won his title in '94, then his guy, he had to elevate the guy around. He had no offer on that team.
He didn't elevate anybody around him, though.
Yes, he did. In a way, it depends how you look at elevation of your teammates, though.
No, the team won. You see, Hakeem could put the team on his back and perform at a high level, but the guys around him were the guys around him. Like he couldn't do anything about it.
Yes, but it's saying us, you need guys to step in a certain moment and do their jobs. Though, if they don't do their job, you cannot win. So you have to push them to go the extra mile.
Dub's getting cooked right now.
I'm getting deep fried.
Because think about it. Right? When Jordan won his first chance, he had to push Steve Kerr. Hey, you got to be that guy. You got to take that shot. That's on you to make that damn shot. And Steve Kerr made that shot because why? Jordan pushed him.
But what did Hakeem do?
He did.
What did Hakeem do to his teammates to elevate them?
He elevated Vernon Maxwell. Look at Robert. Would Robert Horry be the same player he is today without Hakeem? No, we wouldn't be talking about Robert Horry the same way we do now. We didn't.
You're getting cooked right now, though.
They even call him Big Shot Rob for crying out loud.
Wait, but how did Hakeem elevate those guys' game around him?
Because he pushed him. He pushed, hey, you guys need to do this. You need to do this. You need this. Hey, you need to start a certain mouth.
How do you know that he was saying that?
Because I've seen interviews with Hakeem. That's why. And I've heard Hakeem talk about this. I've heard Robert already talk about this, doing interviews constantly.
Okay, I'm cooked.
There you go. You just got smoked.
I've even heard Mario Ellie, who was on those teams, talk about the same damn thing. Where Hakeem said, "You gotta go here, you gotta go here, you gotta do this, you gotta be in your spot, you gotta pick up your man."
I think that's just basketball. Not gonna lie.
We got some super chats, man. Quabe with a super chat. Can we talk about how Tatum's shooting tour dates? That's crazy, actually.
But it's the month of March. It's the month of March. Relax. It's the month of March.
Jason Tatum overrated, bro.
Tatum's a really good player, but my problem with Tatum is eventually Tatum's going to have to come to a point where it's like, am I going to be that guy or not going to be that guy? When is it going to stop and be that guy?
He made the finals. He elevated his teammates.
He just didn't elevate himself.
Tatum choked in the final last year. He did. He choked in the final last year. When it mattered, he choked in the final last year. He did.
I'm just saying, Mars. Jaylen Brown doesn't do that, but you know,
Jaylen Brown doesn't do what? Elevate his teammates. Yeah, you're right. Jason Tatum.
Nah, he doesn't choke.
There were times where Brown outplayed Tatum.
Okay.
Wait. What?
Wait, what did he say?
There were times when Brown outplayed Tatum. That's what he said.
No. What did you guys say before?
That Jaylen Brown doesn't choke in the finals.
No, I didn't say. I said there was times when Jaylen Brown outperformed Tatum.
Yeah, that's how basketball works. Sometimes the best player doesn't play the best. Yeah.
Did Jason Tatum elevate Jaylen Brown so that he could play at that level?
I think Brown's a very good player, and I think Brown gets overlooked a lot. I really do. He gets overlooked a lot better.
But JT being the best guy, like, wouldn't you just say that he's the reason in elevating Jaylen Brown to that level because of what he was talking, maybe the conversations they have, tell him to go to the spots and go attack and putting the attention on himself.
Well, if you look at Brown already, he's already elevated his player. He's averaging over 25 points per game. So I would say Tatum's doing something right to help him elevate his game more. Because if you look at Brown when he first started, Brown was not averaging 25 plus point per game. Brown got better through time, kind of like Scottie did. When Scottie first started, Scottie was only averaging 8 points per game coming off the bench.
So how does
through time he got better playing with Jordan?
How doesn't that apply to Otis Thorpe and then Kenny Smith and them boys and then Robert Horry as well?
Because they won the finals, though. What are we talking about right now? They won. Like, what?
You know, yeah. Never mind. I'm being nasty. I'm getting cooked, guys. Never mind.
Exactly.
My bad.
There you go. So trying
Yeah. Gerald Tyson with his chat. I want to highlight. He's not a god. He's the god. That's facts. Michael Wilson. Does the EPO steroid allegations taint your thoughts on LeBron James, or at least taint the GOAT debate? When you search for this Chael Sonnen, who made the allegations, you find more than Chael Sonnen.
No, it doesn't. Because until it's proven, it means nothing. And even when it is proven, if it is proven true, he's still the GOAT to me. So,
John Jones got caught using drugs.
Let me tell you something though. Hey, Rafa, if you use steroids though, I think it kind of does hurt your legacy though a little bit though. If you do take steroids, it does.
If he was the only person doing it and therefore it gave him an unfair advantage, cool. But if everyone does it, at that point you're just leveling the playing field. And if the belief is, like we were talking about, like people were talking about on the panel, that the whole NBA is doing it, you're not giving yourself an unfair advantage. And that's what PEDs are meant to do, give you an unfair advantage. If everyone is using them, everyone is giving themselves an unfair advantage, which just means everyone is at the same level. So he's still just better than everyone else.
I think it depends how many people are using him though, too, though. If LeBron's the only one using them, then yeah, he has a very big unfair advantage against everybody else then. But if a lot of people are using it, then okay, then you make a different conversation maybe.
Yeah, that's my point. People don't.
Yeah.
If LeBron is the only person doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
But totally. I highly doubt he is. I do think there are
other players are using. I do think there are other players using them.
Yeah, but I also believe if you're not in a combat sport, I don't care if you use PEDs. unless like John Jones fighting people and being on PEDs.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation. Like if you're playing
Oh yeah,
golf,
well, if you're in a
using
comment for that's
PEDs,
a massive.
I'm
age.
sorry, I don't care that you're playing golf using PEDs. Like you're not. That doesn't matter to me.
But I think a lot of fighters use it too, though. A lot of fighters use steroids too. I believe those well too.
They use a lot of supplements. They could definitely. I'm not gonna write it off. But I think Mars makes a tremendous point. If you are fighting that, like strength takes a lot, especially in fighting. So if you are using that, you should penalize them more. But in a sport where, I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, Mars, the drug that he's accused of having is longevity. It's a prolonged career, able to rehabilitate faster. So even then, that's something that's crucial in basketball as well. So why wouldn't you penalize LeBron James? That's one of the biggest reasons on why we have him as the GOAT.
the PEDs are that make him play longer.
It's play longer. It's for him to prolongate his career, rehabilitate faster. Those are the drugs he's accused of taking.
But you have to look at it too.
Then he moved down to
that's
number
what
2.
ruined Lance Armstrong's career though too was. That's why he got some of his Tour de France titles. And it ruined his career. Literally ruined his career. No one ever looked at him the same ever again, ever.
Then LeBron can move down to number 2 if he's taking drugs that boost his longevity.
I mean, if you look at Arnold, look how many heart attacks he's had because of the steroid taking all these years.
Yeah, that's true, bro. Hey, how do I say your name, bro? In the Sixers?
Keenan, bro, you got it.
Keenan? Fine,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
What you got to say about the Miami Heat and then the Eastern Conference? And
He's about to
your
say how Philly are
76ers
about to
team?
win the title. That's what he's about to say.
You agree with Mars?
I would love to say Philly about to win the title, man. Like I believe we can pull it off, but if I had to put money down, it'd probably be on the Bucks. But yeah, about Miami, I think that they could like maybe get one upset, but being on the road every series, the team not looking the same. Jimmy's like because when you talk about a dark horse, you're talking about like they could win a championship, right? You think Jimmy could be the best player on the championship team?
Don't fucking play with me. Like, don't play with me. I 100% believe that. I just don't think that this team is the team for it.
But he would need another Jimmy Butler type caliber player to pull that off with him, and I don't think that he'd have that. I mean, Bam is nice, but like I don't think they have another top, whatever you want to call it, 15 caliber player that'll be able to really put them over the hump. If every series is going to be a road series. I'm not.
Yeah,
sure
that's why I agree. That's why I agree. Where I think Jimmy is a championship caliber player. It's just he's not on a team that take him over the hump.
No.
You know,
Definitely.
You guys don't believe in Kyle Lowry.
It's all going to come on the matchup too. It all depends who Miami draws too. If they draw a team who's more favorable to them, maybe things bounce their way, maybe. But you can't see them beating Milwaukee, a Boston, and a Philadelphia too. It's just going to be too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all dogfights for us, and we're gonna be playing away, and we play much better at home. That's also a big reason why we made it that far in the postseason.
For me, a dark horse would be Cleveland. They'd be a dark horse.
That's a
I
great
can say
dark horse.
Cleveland, yeah.
They're a dark horse.
Even then, I look at their wings, and I'm like, their wings are so bad.
Because if Mitchell starts going off and Mitchell really plays up to his level, then it's very possible.
There's only 3 teams coming out the East: Boston, Philly, Milwaukee. No one
That's
else has
true.
a chance.
But Cleveland is a dark horse, though. Like they could get hot at the right time
and still lose.
And was Garland too?
I mean, Mars. I mean, if Okoro starts finding his shot, I mean, hey,
He's not.
if Okoro starts finding his shot, they could upset anybody.
Jared Allen get healthy. Mobley still nasty.
Yeah, Evan
Yeah,
Mobley.
they can be fantastic and lose in the second round. Like, that's cool.
Why you look at me like that? You don't have to look at me like that, man.
So, I got a question. Does anybody here think that the Nuggets can win a championship like this season?
No. Well, yes.
So,
Probable, no.
does anybody think that they will?
No.
No.
So
They
would it
can,
be
but
fair to
no.
call them would it be fair to call them a dark horse even though they're the number 1?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah,
actually.
they're a dark horse because no one has them as a favorite in the West
Me
besides
neither,
like
of course.
Denver fans.
Right.
I think Denver could win a playoff series, maybe get to a conference finals, but I don't trust their defense though.
No, not at all.
I don't trust their defense.
Yeah, that
I like
defense.
their depth. They got good depth, but their defense is a little concerning for me.
Mars, if Jokic don't make
Yes.
the conference finals, are you gonna call him a fraud?
Jokic
depends
to
on
me,
what- it
eventually
depends on
he's
why
got
they
to step
lose.
sooner or later, and
Let
he's
the
got to
goat
say, you know
talk, Mars.
what?
Let the goat
It's
talk.
my time. I'm taking over.
If they lose because of it, if they lose,
Mars, if he's not that guy, he's
If
got to
they
sit
lose-
here and say it's my time. I
Hey,
got to
Mars,
take over.
sooner or
If
later,
they
Jokic
lose
has got to
because
do
of
an
his
Hakeem
defense.
Olajuwon. If he don't do an Hakeem sooner or later, then it ain't gonna happen.
he's
It
not
ain't going-
Hakeem. He's not Hakeem. If they lose because of Jokic's defense, then nothing I said about Jokic is proven false.
Yeah, like
I've never
Jokic
made
always-
claims about Denver winning a title on the back of Jokic's offense. I've never done that. I've just
Jokic
said
always-
offensively he's better than.
But the thing is, though, is if Jokic is that good of a playmaker, sooner or later your playmaking's got to translate into winning a championship too. Eventually,
Okay, I have a question. Okay, so for example, if we have someone, let's say Steph Curry, best shooter of all time, yes.
Right.
Let's say he was terrible at every other aspect of basketball. Could I then not call him the best shooter of all time because the shooting didn't translate to winning championships?
yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
No?
No, I agree with Mars.
Jokic
I
can be
agree
the
with
best
you.
playmaking big man of all time and not win a championship.
Yes, but
because
the
his
thing
defense
is with
that
this.
bad.
Yeah, but the thing is with this. Jokic has got the players around him though. He has Jamal Murray. He has Michael Porter Jr.
The
He has
offense
Aaron
isn't the
Gordon.
problem. The offense isn't the problem.
But
the
the
defense
problem
is the
is,
problem.
but if you got the pieces though, and you're that good of a playmaker though, eventually that has to translate in order to get over the hump.
That's not how
That's
it
not
works.
true.
No.
Because Jokic always plays very well
The
offensively.
offense
in the playoffs.
translates in the playoffs. The offense
Like,
is
he-
fine.
he
They
plays
lose because of their
arguably-
defense.
He plays arguably better in the playoffs than he does in the regular season on offense. Like, he's a machine in the postseason. He's just his defense can't get it done.
If I see his defense get exposed again, I will say I don't think he's in the best player in the world debate. I think right now he is. I'll say I don't think he's in the best player in the world debate because I think his defense will be that detrimental. But in terms of my
But-
takes on Jokic,
But the
being
thing is too is
probably
though,
the best offensive big man.
yeah,
nothing's gonna-
his defense needs to be better. That's true. But at the same time, though, is if you're that guy and everybody's claiming you to be a multiple MVP league, eventually, though, you've got to be able to elevate your play and elevate the guys around you. Say, hey, let's go.
That's
the
why.
thing, though.
Let's
Jokic
go.
does-
Let's go.
Jokic
Let's-
does-
If Hakeem Olajuwon can take a team with no All-Star in 90 or win a chip, then I expect a guy like Jokic, who has that kind of talent, to get it done sooner or later.
Hakeem's better than Jokic.
Yeah, he can't.
Drop
Nobody
the-
argues.
And Hakeem's a multiple. Hey, Jokic is a multiple-time MVP, just like Nash was. Why couldn't Nash get it done then?
I mean, because the NBA kind of sold them. But Hakeem is better than Jokic. Like, I don't know what to say about that. Hakeem is just a better player. He's the best defender of the modern era.
Okay, is
Right.
Jokic not considered one of the best big men in the league today? Yes or no?
He's the best big man in
Yeah.
the league today. But yes.
Is he not considered a
Well,
count with
you
Embiid and
Center,
Cookie
center,
Giannis? Yes or no?
best center in the
You
NBA.
have
Best center in the NBA.
you have
If we're
Jokic.
looking at
top two,
centers,
right?
him and Embiid are the two best centers in the league, right?
Pardon? What?
Jokic and Embiid, two best centers. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Pretty good.
if you're one of the two best centers in the league, though,
Mm-hmm.
don't you expect? Hey, you're one of the. I expect you to get over the hump. Hakeem did it. Shaq did it.
That's not always how it works, though. Like
No,
Kevin Garnett was
that's not how
arguably the
that's not
best.
how it works. No.
Shaq wasn't that great a defender. Shaq was a good defender. He wasn't a great one.
That's true.
The Lakers are also a better defensive team than the Denver Nuggets.
So
And the game was played differently. Shaq, as a rim protector, was elite, and the game is played towards the rim. Jokic isn't a good rim protector, but the game is played out on the perimeter, and he's terrible out there. Shaq on the perimeter.
And Duncan wasn't. And Shaq was not the playmaker that Jokic was.
He's not.
He wasn't.
But he's also the second best playmaking big.
Shaq couldn't even shoot free throws for crying out loud. He was a terrible free throw shooter too.
Yes,
Jokic
sir.
was a way better free throw shooter than Shaq was.
Yes.
And Jokic has got a better jump shot than Shaq does too.
Yeah.
So why can't Jokic get it done then? If he's better than
Because
that,
he's
though,
worse
he should be
defensively.
doing it. Come on now.
Because he's worse defensively. That's why they're going to
But
lose because of his
if
defense.
he's more skilled, he's a better free throw shooter, better jump shooter, better playmaker.
Yes.
He has a talent around him. Why can't he do it then?
Because of how many times do I have to say it? Because of the defense.
But Shaq wasn't that great a defender either. He was a good one, but not a great one.
The
But
game
Shaq
was
still got
played
it anyways, though. You're
The
making an
game was
excuse.
played. No, you're asking for reasons. I'm giving you reasons, and then you're calling it an excuse.
If
The
Jokic
game
had
was
Kobe, that
played
would change
differently
anything?
in the
It
2000s.
doesn't matter. You still
How
have
does
to
that
fucking
not
get
matter?
done.
How does that not matter?
It doesn't matter.
So okay, just
If
bear
you're-
with me.
if
Bear
you're
with me.
that-
Bear with
if-
Gerald.
If
Gerald,
you are
please bear
that
with me.
guy, you've got to get it done
Gerald,
sooner or later.
Gerald,
You can't keep
Gerald,
making these
Gerald,
excuses like,
Gerald,
well, this and that,
Gerald,
this and this and this.
Gerald,
Come on now, Mars.
Gerald,
It's
Gerald,
like you make us see for
Gerald,
Nash too.
Gerald,
Same thing.
Gerald,
Come on now.
Gerald.
Yo, real quick.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
Go ahead, Keenan. Go ahead. Mars, you got it.
If Jokic had Kobe, would that change your mind? Like a player of that caliber?
He got Jamal Murray. What was going on?
Yeah, okay.
He
Gerald,
said
Gerald, can I ask you a question?
But
Can I ask you a question?
yeah,
Okay. You are the same person who understood context of era when talking to Low about John Stockton. You understood passing was different in that time, correct?
yes, I understand.
Okay. So defense in the early 2000s was more centered towards getting to the rim, correct? It was less out on the perimeter, correct?
Yes,
Shaquille O'Neal was a fantastic rim protector, correct?
Yes.
yes. Shaq was a decent rim protector. He was a good rim protector. Yes,
Yes.
but
And
Shaq was not that.
Okay, his defensive game was predicated around protecting the rim. In the way the game was played was around protecting the rim. So his defensive flaws out on the perimeter weren't as exploitable as Jokic's flaws are today. That's a big difference in why Shaq was able to get by on not being the most fantastic defender, because the game was played towards his defensive strengths. If you put Shaq in today's game, hypothetically, and made him defend on the perimeter with the team, with the pieces Jokic has around him, if you just swap Jokic and Shaq, I don't like these hypotheticals, but I promise you, Shaq would not win. I promise you he wouldn't.
Shaq would win, actually.
I guarantee you, Shaq
Shaq
in
would win,
today's
actually.
game on Denver is not winning a
Shaq
championship.
would win. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because Shaq knew how to impose his will.
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's cooking! He's cooking, boys!
Yo, I'm not gonna
Shaq
lie.
could impose
I
his
can't
will.
argue. I
Shaq
can't
said, "Hey,
argue.
give me the ball."
I'm
It's
cooked.
my shit. I'm taking over. I'm gonna dominate your ass. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
stop
cooked.
me.
I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Boys!
I'm cooked.
Oh my
I'm cooked.
god!
I can't argue. I got
Yo.
cooked. I got
Yo.
cooked. I got cooked.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Yo, Steven, since Keenan came in later, I'm gonna keep him in there. But Steven, I
Yeah.
gotta bring some other guys up here. All right, brother.
I just got ether. That's
Be safe,
ridiculous,
bro.
damn.
And Keenan, I think there's like some like your mic is moving and everything. Just
Oh, my fault.
no problem, bro. Just help me out with that. But we're
How do
good.
you
I
argue with
appreciate
Shaq imposing his will?
Oh my god, bro.
Man,
Boys, you
Morris.
just got.
You got cooked, I'm sorry.
Everyone else, even Bill Russell lost in the finals, man. Even Bill Russell lost in the finals.
Yo, Kwame Gerald on the dub runs today. Pause.
Damn.
Quay White with a super chat. I'm behind, but there is no way that Gerald is holding Donovan Mitchell to Jordan, Kobe, Hakeem level standards. This is insane.
I mean, you got to be that guy.
Exactly. If you're like they have
Exactly.
the will. They have the willpower.
You have to be that guy later, though. People can't keep making excuses for these players today. Like, oh well, he's good, but he's not good enough, though. Eventually, you have to get over the hump, though. You can't keep saying I'm that dude.
You gotta say you're that dude. You have to.
You have to
That's
prove
Because
yourself.
Donovan Mitchell scored all these points in all these games this year. Well, if he's that good, then prove it. Get it done in the playoffs. Then get it done when it matters. Every great player eventually gets over the hump. Eventually,
So if they don't
But
get
you-
over the hump, they're not great players.
eventually you have to. There's a difference between legends and greats.
I have a question, Gerald.
Jordan is a legend.
Mhm.
Magic is a legend. Bird's a legend. Kareem, right? And then you have other guys like Allen Iverson.
He's a legend
And
or
stuff.
great?
He's a great.
Great.
Because
Great.
won.
Great.
Exactly.
Wait,
Right?
I have a
Then you
question,
have a
Gerald.
guy like T-Mac.
What's he?
Great.
Great.
They have no titles. They're
Okay.
Great. Chris Paul,
Okay.
great. Not a legend.
Chris
Isaiah
Paul,
Thomas,
great. Yeah, exactly.
legend. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Eventually, you have to be considered a legend. You have to eventually elevate your play sooner or later, though, to the next level.
What's
If
KG?
you don't, you can't be that guy.
Or if you elevate your play and you still lose.
No, but
What's
you didn't elevate enough.
You didn't elevate enough.
Exactly.
You're not that guy.
Those legends, they have the willpower. They get it done. So that's what you gotta think about.
The other thing is, though, is this. Exactly. Is I'm talking about when you elevate your play is this, though, is right? You have to look down at your opponent and say, hey, It's my time. It's not your time. It's my time. You have to be able to impose your will. If you look at guys like Shaq and Jordan, they knew when to impose their will at the right time and said, "I'm taking it from you. You're not taking my shit from me. This is my rule."
Mars, he killed you.
And you're just living in it.
Facts.
So I got a question though. Did Jordan elevate his play when he won, or was Scottie Pippen just healthy?
It was nothing to do with the fact that they were the best team in the NBA.
Or did he just play great and he was on a great team?
Hey, look at Jordan's team. Honestly, you had Jordan played great a lot of times. If you go back to the 1993 NBA Finals, right, and the East Conference Finals in '93, when the Bulls were down 2-1 in that series to the Knicks, Jordan went out there and had a 54-point performance. His teammate Scottie had 13 points. 13.
What happened? But what happened in Game 3?
Why were they down 2-1?
And Game 3, Jordan had 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, a block, and shot 94% for the free throw line.
Oh my God!
I've never heard someone make that game sound good. I've never heard someone make that game sound good.
Oh my God!
And then don't
No. I swear to God.
No, that is the best way I've ever heard someone make that game sound good.
I never heard that before.
And if you look at Scottie Pippen, if you look at Scottie Pippen in Game 3, Scottie Pippen had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, 80% for the free throw line.
I'm with him. Hold up, Desto. I'm with him. You want to know why? Because if the shot ain't falling down, you got to impact the game in other ways. He impacted games with his passing, with his
please. So if anyone can find the game on the internet, just watch 1993 Conference Finals Game 3. Let me know in the chat if you think Jordan played well in that game. Just
it's understandable. But look, I have never heard anybody start a Michael Jordan stat line talking about his rebounds. That is hilarious. Because
you gotta affect the game in other ways.
No, disguising that game in that way was amazing.
That's how
Chill had the same comment with Elder a couple months ago when he battled Elder. When Chill Elder battled LeBron MJ in the LeBron MJ debate when he had on Black Friday. Chill said this in Game 3 that Michael Jordan did nothing in Game 3. Nothing. He lied. He absolutely lied when he did his bet with Elder. He lied.
Oh my God, he lied. He lied because he had 16. He had 16 free throws, 17 attempted. He made 94 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, playmaking for his guy with 11 assists, 2 steals and 2 blocks. How is that nothing?
Yeah, I never heard anyone start with free throws. That's crazy. I never heard anyone start with
because you know good and damn well Michael Jordan was not. He wasn't even the best player on his team that night. It's just the facts. It was Scottie Pippen, and they was about to go down 3-0.
Is it just because of the scoring?
So don't talk about somebody elevating his game. Just say he had help.
Is it just because of the scoring?
Okay.
That's why he won.
Okay, why don't you look at Game 5 then? In Game 5, Jordan had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists.
He was great.
He led the team in points and assists.
He was great.
No one's doubting that Jordan was the best player in the Bulls.
You talking about why they won? Jordan didn't elevate his game in that Game 3.
No, he elevated Scottie Pippen to have 29. That's what happened.
All right, y'all trolling.
No, that's what happened for real. He elevated.
But what did Scottie do in Game 4? Though? Scottie had 13 points. He had 13.
Wouldn't that be Scottie elevating himself though, instead of Jordan elevating him?
Let's see how many passes he threw to Scottie Pippen. Hold up, let me see. Let me see this. Let me look this up. Give me a second, fellas. Go ahead.
Because when does the individual player get credit for elevating themselves instead of like someone elevating them?
When you're the best player on the team,
okay, sometimes it's right
around you. When you're not the best player on the team, you're elevating.
Listen.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes in moments though, in the playoffs, right, your team has played bad. And those moments though, when your team has played bad, you as a great player, you have to elevate to even a higher level sometimes though. When the players don't step up. And in Game 4, Pippen didn't step up Game 4. So Jordan said, you know what? Pippen's not playing well. I got to play even better.
Okay.
For us to win, which he did in order for him to win. And there were times when Pippen did his job too.
So you're saying that's what Jokic
Pippen was the one. Pippen was the one who elevated.
Yeah, if Jokic is that guy, he has to elevate his team even when they're not playing well to make it to the finals because he's a 2-time MVP. That's what you have to do. If you're that level of player,
You have to listen in the playoffs,
That's
right?
crazy.
When you get into the playoffs,
That's terrible. Like,
there are certain moments in the playoffs, though, right? If your guys are not playing well, and you see your guys are not playing well, you as a main guy say, you know what? I have to say, you know what? They're not playing well. I have to dominate.
That's though. You're not
And I
really
have to
getting it.
take
You gotta
over.
realize
If we're
Jordan
going
was
to
in.
win, you have to impose your will. If you don't, your team is going to lose. And there's times when you just have to play your part like everybody else does. It
And
all
MJ
depends on the situation you're in.
MJ was
What about when
imposing
Jordan
his will
didn't
by
impose
getting
his
to the
will?
line
His team
17
still won.
times.
That's though. You're not getting it. That he's him. He was getting inner thinking, inner him and him, so he can elevate himself.
So
That's
did
it.
so did Shaq elevate
about-
Kobe or did Kobe elevate Shaq?
Oh my God.
What's that now?
No
Did
cap.
Shaq elevate Kobe or did Kobe elevate Shaq?
Well, Shaq was already a great player already. When Shaq went to LA, Shaq was already a championship caliber ball player already. Shaq got the finals in 95 and he got the finals in 96. So when Shaq got to LA already, Shaq was already ready to win.
When finals in '96, but yeah. So Shaq elevated Kobe. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Because
Okay,
Kobe was coming out of the bench in 98.
Okay. So did Dwayne Wade elevate Shaq or did Shaq elevate Dwayne Wade?
Oh, that's a great question, actually.
What's that now?
So did Shaq elevate when Shaq went to Miami? Did he then elevate Dwayne Wade or did Dwayne Wade elevate Shaq?
When Shaq went to Miami, Dwayne Wade was already a superstar when Shaq got there.
In his second season.
When Shaq got there, Shaq was not the same player he once was anymore.
Top 5 player in the NBA, top 10 player in the NBA.
Second in MVP,
Top
by
10
the
at
way.
least.
I have a question for you, Gerald. Did Steph Curry elevate Kevin Durant?
Well, no, listen. Kevin Durant. See, I think these things, right? When Kevin Durant got to Golden State, right? Kevin Durant was already a great player already.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant had already been to a finals already. The problem was Kevin hadn't won a chip yet. Steph had. Steph had to teach Kevin Durant how to win a chip, just like D-Wade had to teach LeBron how to win a chip.
So Dwayne Wade elevated LeBron.
Okay.
He had to teach him how to win a chip, yes, because LeBron hadn't won nothing yet. Last time I checked.
So Shaq also elevated Dwayne Wade. Because Dwayne Wade hasn't won yet. Shaq had already won. So Shaq elevated Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade was a superstar, yes. But Shaq taught Wade, hey, this is what it takes to win a championship, though. Even though you're a star already.
Okay.
You can be a star player, but you can still have some guy come and help you and teach you how to win a title.
Okay, I understand now. There we go. Thank you. Made it clear.
Like LeBron. LeBron was a star player when he went to Miami, but he still needed Wade to teach him how to win a chip because he didn't know how to do it. That's why. That's why he choked in his first finals. That's why.
He's actually making a little bit of sense, though.
No, he is making sense. I actually understand.
He's cooking.
100%.
I'm looking at it right now. MJ assisted on. This is like the first half right now. Assisted on 2 of Scottie Pippen's.
So what point are you trying to make with this?
It's crazy how stats like this exist.
MJ. All I'm saying is, I'm watching the game. All I'm saying is, MJ elevated Scottie, for Scottie to have that game.
Exactly, because
Just facts.
MJ shooting like 3 for what 15 or whatever.
17.
3 for 18.
Yeah.
17 free
Because
throws.
he had 8 rebounds and 10 assists.
But you saying Scottie MJ did nothing, bro. I mean,
No, we never
Chill said that.
Chill
said that when he had his elder.
That's not what I'm saying.
Actually, Dub, to be fair, it makes sense why
I
he said
said Chill said that. When Chill debated Elder a couple months ago, when they had the LeBron MJ debate, he said that. I didn't say it. Chill did, and Chill lied.
Actually, to be fair, it makes sense because I remember when Ron made an argument about LeBron. I forgot what finals or what playoff series. He said LeBron still played good. LeBron still played good at other aspects of the game, like rebounding, assisting. So that makes sense why.
Yeah, but you know, Ron's a box score watcher, though, so that's fine.
But yeah, he is.
I'm watching it right now. MJ's actually making a lot of good passes. I'm not gonna hold you.
MJ was a very good passer.
Yeah, underrated passer, I would say.
So would I.
Yeah, but I don't.
It was
Better passer than Kobe.
Shout out to MJ, man, best player.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. For all the young heads in here, I'm sorry. When you go watch these playoff series in the 90s and late 80s, these guys was fighting, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
It wasn't
the
fake
Knicks Bulls were always physical.
No, they was scrapping.
That was still a physical series. Those were brutal.
It's
They
a lot
were
of
very
games.
brutal
It's a lot
series.
of games
Very
when
tough,
when I go back and
elbowing,
I'm like,
smacking each other, hard fought series.
But they act like it was like that all the
Like
time.
watching
Like
the
in the
playoffs,
playoffs against the
bro.
Knicks, yeah. But then if you go watch a regular season game,
That's why I don't get my Low told me I had to go back and watch film though. I don't need to go back and watch film because I actually watched that time period. See, Low needed to go back and watch film because Low didn't know that damn time, but that's why.
Facts.
Damn, bro.
Once you watch it once,
Hey,
you never
Lil
forget.
Angel
Once
type
you
of
once
we need
once you
Gerald.
watch it once, you never forget.
We need Gerald up here. We need Gerald up here with Chilltown and Low.
And you know why this
Yeah,
is?
that's crazy.
And also, too, don't forget, Low lied when he said Bird never averaged over 20 games during the season. Bird did that in 84 and 85, which he lied about last time we had a debate last time.
Wait, lied about 20 what?
Bird never averaged what?
When we had the Malone Bird debate, right? When we were talking about Bird and Malone last time, right? He said that Bird never averaged over 28-point game during the season. Bird did. He did in 1984 and 1985. He was the second leading scorer in that league that year.
Didn't he have a season where he averaged like?
And Bernard King was the lead scorer that averaged 32 points in that season.
Shout out Bernard King, man.
He actually wait over 28, or was
Yeah.
it 28?
There was a year where Bird averaged 30. I know he did.
He was
Yeah.
like,
29.9 and
something like
88.
that.
Yeah. I knew that.
So Low. So you just saying Low's a capper.
So
Low
Low
don't
did
know
lie. He
Low
lied.
don't know
But
ball.
we know
That's
Low.
crazy.
Low.
We know Low.
And then he's going to sit there and tell me I need to go look at game film? Come on.
Facts.
Yeah,
But
he's
there
he's
is
crazy.
something like when I watch old games, like when you watch teams like the Pistons and the Knicks, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of physicality, but a lot of times you think like you see soft fouls now, it's soft fouls back then, like it's crazy.
There is, but I think that the younger generation try. See, this is what I hate, right? Like, there's no medium. Like, they either downplay too much or upplay too much. It's like, I think the 80s and 90s, late 80s and the 90s was physical, especially in the playoffs. Regular season, it's the regular season, so people ain't doing that. But playoffs, they was really like physical, and a lot of people coming up, they're trying to act as if it wasn't. It's like, no, bro. Like they were,
Yeah, no, definitely.
they were dogs.
I've definitely
They
seen
were rivalry. There was war.
But the
There
playoffs
was
in
war
general
back
can
then,
be more
especially in the East.
Especially in the East.
If you look at the East, it was
they was
brutal.
physical in the interior. They was physical in the interior.
Yeah,
They weren't physical.
I've seen
Like that guy on
where
ESPN acting like
players
Larry
back
Bird
in
was
the
just
day, those wasn't
facing
even a flavor.
physicality on 3-pointers.
Oh no! When JJ Redick brought up that
That
point
was
of
cap.
off
That
ball,
was-
Yeah, JJ
yeah,
was
they weren't
cap.
doing that. Yeah,
That's what-
JJ wasn't. No, JJ wasn't capping.
That
Not
other guy was-
JJ, not JJ. The other
Yeah.
dude.
The
That guy
dude
was
acted
cracked
like it was like every single night it was a bloodbath, and I'm like, bro,
Larry
It
Bird,
was-
Larry Bird only took threes at the end of the shot clock or when he was wide open. That's just how it was.
he just wasn't a 3-point.
Yeah,
shooter.
That's
No,
a fact.
Mad Max was lying because he didn't.
maybe
he
for
didn't,
the back in that day, but
He
I
didn't-
can name 8 players that are better 3-point shooters than Bird.
that's it.
Or 10.
JJ Redick was a better 3-point shooter than Larry Bird. Like what? JJ Redick himself
It's
was
like
better at
it's
shooting
3-point
threes
shooters
than Larry
right
Bird.
now in the league.
was Kyle Korver better?
Yes. I
Yes.
think Larry Bird is a better shooter than those guys.
Yeah, I mean,
But 3-point
Three-point
shooter.
shooter? Clay's better. Curry, Reggie, Dale Ellis,
KD?
Taser,
Ray Allen,
Kevin Durant,
AD.
Damian Lillard.
I say
Page was a better
maybe
shooter than him.
I say Kobe.
Jason
was a
Petrovic
3-point
was a better 3-point shooter.
Mark Price.
Page.
Steve Nash.
Yeah, Mark Price was a good shooter too. People always overlook Mark Price too. Mark Price could shoot the ball too. People overlook that guy a lot too for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a championship, so he didn't elevate his guys.
Nah, he just folded a lot.
Mark
He
Price
was-
is on the right.
that's
Is
why
he
they
great
don't
or
like him.
is he a legend, Jill? Mark Price?
Who-
He a legend?
Is Mark Price a legend? Mark Price was Mark Price was an underrated player. I thought he was very underrated. He was a very underrated player.
Is he in
I
the
would,
Hall of
think,
Fame?
I would say he goes more in an underrated category because Mark Price shot 47% for the field for his career, 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. He was almost a 50-40-90 ball player for his career, which a lot of people overlook for some reason.
Damn, you talk that talk, Joe. Low, I see you in the chat. He got smoke for you again, Low. And I want to see if Ron can bring up Chilltown because we got to form this little debate.
Round 2 is crazy.
Let's talk about how Mark Price is better than peak John Stockton. Let's talk about it.
Hey,
Nah, I don't think that's crazy to say that, honestly. As a
Keenan,
player,
I got to get somebody up here, but
all right,
be
Brody.
safe, brother. All right, be safe.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
someone
sir.
in the chat said Mark Price better than Stockton. I don't know if I believe that, but
Oh, no,
offensively he might be.
Now Mars, they was nasty yesterday. I don't like when they said Deran Williams over John Stockton. I said, okay, yeah, okay, so they pushing a little bit.
Deran Williams
That was
was in the Chris
nasty.
Paul.
Well,
Deran Williams was in the Chris
peak
Paul
for
debate.
peak. I'm not gonna lie, peak for peak. I don't know. Deron Williams was cold, bro.
How long was
Deran Williams is good. Deran Williams
how
can
long was
ball.
Deran Williams prime though? Like his best years, like 5 years.
4 to 6,
was
something like that.
was it 5 years?
He was done by.
He was done like right after, like
I think maybe around
Paul Pierce and
2014.
KG got there.
Yeah, right around like his second year in Detroit. I mean, not Detroit, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah. So he was cold in
By the
Utah.
time I got to Brooklyn, he was done when I got to Brooklyn.
He could play make. He was like a big guard.
He was good in Utah. When I got to
He wasn't
Brooklyn,
better
he
than
was
Chris Paul.
finished.
He had a great pull up.
I think it was a debate though. It was
not a
debate.
debate.
It was like the Curry and
I'm
Westbrook
talking about
debate.
in
It was like the Curry
hindsight, yeah,
Westbrook
pushing
debate in
Chris Paul,
2016.
but like at the time, it was a real debate.
It was a real debate between him and Rondo.
Yeah, people were having a debate. I mean, it was wrong to have it.
I don't think that was a real debate.
With Rondo, nah, I don't believe that.
I wasn't around, but I've heard people having those
I
conversations.
don't believe that. I can't.
Bro, I'm telling you, I lived in that shit. I remember in middle
I
school,
lived in it too.
in middle school, bro. There's really people having these debates.
That's
I
just
was
nasty.
in these debates.
Rondo was a champion who elevated his guys.
Over
Nah,
Chris Paul, though, that's
it was
crazy,
about
though.
it was about being a pure PG. He's like one of the best pure facilitators, PG.
One of the best
defense he
rebounding
has.
point guards. Yeah.
Yeah. The way he just sees the game, I remember all of those talking points.
Is it crazy to say Rondo's a better passer than Chris Paul? Though?
Is it crazy?
I don't know.
By the way, you view passing. By the way,
I don't think it's that crazy. crazy. The way I view passing, I don't think it's that crazy at all.
Oh,
Because I think
It's not crazy.
I hold guys to like a different, like a higher level when
Rondo was a good passer. Though. I won't say he was a bad passer. He could facilitate the ball.
when you don't have that, when you don't
He
have
was really
that,
good at it. He could facilitate the ball pretty well.
when you don't have that scoring ability to challenge defenses and you really have to work to try to navigate to find open guys.
I don't know where I ranked him at though.
I hold guys
kinda
to a
hard.
higher
Is
standard.
that passing or is that playmaking?
That's passing. When you don't have the scoring, when you don't have that scoring threat to challenge defenses, and you're still able to find guys and navigate between that without that scoring threat, I hold you to a higher standard.
So Rondo is better than Chris Paul.
He might. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. He
No, I
is
think
probably-
As a passer.
Oh,
As a
okay,
passer.
okay.
As a passer, I'm not mad at it at all.
I thought you said
What's-
player for a second.
CP3 is not a crazy flashy passer at all.
What's up,
I mean, he has
fellas?
flashy passes, but
Yeah, I
Rondo.
He thinks he's a better defender, though.
I think it's
between
just-
him and
He's a better
Rondo.
defender. I think he's a better defender than Rondo is.
Okay, yeah.
He's a better shooter too.
I saw on TikTok people saying Marcus
player,
Smart is better
yeah.
than Rajon Rondo.
Marcus Smart better what?
Marcus Smart is better than prime Rajon Rondo.
I say no. He's just a
No.
better shooter. That's it.
That Celtics team will be
No.
better with Rondo on there.
Because sometimes Marcus Smart is an idiot.
Marcus
Oh yeah,
Smart is
Rondo. Prime Rondo on this Celtics team will be. I think that would be a championship contender, like hands down, like number one favorite.
Rondo, he wasn't the defender Marcus Smart is, but Rondo could D up. And he was like a do it all point guard, really. Like
That's exactly what he
Mine
was.
is being able to shoot.
That
I
was
mean,
the
yeah,
only thing.
but I mean, Rondo, he became like I wouldn't say a reliable scorer, but he developed his.
He could score though. Rondo could score. He could.
He developed his offensive game because they would, you know how Boston started as the big three, then they turned into the big four. They was like a legit like big four. They had 4 All-Stars in the All-Star game like consecutive years. So it was. Yeah,
I got two super chats from It's Mr. Cooked. Another super chat. It's as if old heads look at the NBA as a story rather than an actual game of basketball. It's insane.
That's all everyone does. It's not just old heads. That's all like
Everybody does that. Even young guys do too nowadays.
when you have these all-time discussions, why do you think it's very rarely people talking about basketball? It's people talking about the MVPs, the defensive player of the years, the moments in the playoffs. Everyone views the NBA as a storyline. I try to tell people that's ridiculous, but that's what people do. Like talk about the GOAT debate. You talk about the GOAT debate. Did MJ ever have a 2011? That's another story. And I was talking about playoff moments. Who has more game winners in the playoffs? That's moments. That's what people do. That's just how people talk about it. So it's not just old heads.
What's good, Freshie?
What's up, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to back homie on the top right for a second about the elevation.
Mm.
Like, why are we acting like players elevating in the playoffs is a foreign concept? Like elevating your teammates to get your team to win in the championship.
That's not. I don't think anyone was disagreeing with the fact that players elevating in the playoffs means nothing. I think what I'm arguing, especially when it pertains to Jokic, is Jokic losing in the playoffs because of his defense doesn't mean his offensive game isn't as good as I've said it was. I think Jokic is the best or the second best offensive center ever. Him or Shaq. I don't know. Him or Shaq. Him losing doesn't change that. Him losing doesn't change that. Because if he loses because of his defense, how does that affect his offense? If you get what I'm saying.
It changes that for me because I don't think you can be considered the best at something if it doesn't lead you to a championship. Like if you're the best rebounder ever, the best passer ever, the best playmaker ever, the best scorer ever, it eventually leads to a championship. I don't care what stat you use. That's how I look at it. So you can't be considered the best offensive center if that didn't translate all the way to a championship.
So Steph, if he lost in 2015, hypothetically,
he didn't.
No, I'm just saying you'll see where I'm going. So if Steph lost in 2015, let's assume the Cavs were healthy and they lost, and then they lost in 2016. That means you wouldn't be comfortable, even after Steph's unanimous MVP season, saying he's the best shooter to ever play.
No,
I can't agree with that.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying. I just can't agree with that. Me personally.
I understand what you're saying because like your best quality will elevate you and your team to winning the championship, like you're saying. But at the same time, I don't view basketball as competition. I think a lot of y'all like look at it as like I feel like basketball is a team sport. So if this guy is the best playmaker and the best scorer, but if he's going against a team that's better than him or his teammates just unproducing, like how can I say this guy isn't that great? Because
I have a question for doing it.
Just real quick, I just want to say like you need a lot of help, and for every championship team, you need a lot of luck. Like you can go back in NBA history, you can see a team that won a championship based off luck, based off another team getting hurt. It's a lot of things that go into winning the championship. So I can't just say, oh, you're not that good just because you don't win.
That's true for every team sport. I look at basketball very differently. It's one of the few team sports where you play on both sides of the ball at every time. In football, when Brady goes off, he has to count on the defense to help him out. Soccer
defense, but
come on, Because
me, when I look at basketball, though, is an individual player can determine an outcome more easier in basketball than it could in football or baseball or hockey. Because in hockey, you need your goaltender to be able to get stops. If you don't get stops, you can't win. In baseball, pitching, catching, hitting all matter.
Yep.
And soccer, same damn thing too. But in basketball, though, back one player, like in the finals in '98, when George stole the ball from Lowe, took the ball to the court, hit the shot. It was all him at one play. Literally.
Okay. What?
I don't know what happened. I'm
Wait.
working
Okay,
on.
so freshie. Who of all big men, who passes the ball the best?
Jokic.
So you're comfortable saying Jokic is the best passing big of all time without a championship? So you can't say that someone's the best. So you can say he's the best at something without a championship.
I see where you're coming from.
Like, I'm not saying people have to agree that I think Jokic is the best or the second best offensive big of all time. So I just don't like that it's because he hasn't won a championship.
Can I make a counter to that?
Okay.
What if I include Wilt into that conversation?
I think you'd lose that conversation. You can make the argument. I think you would lose, but you could make the argument.
So Dub and Mars, we just chatting today, huh? We are just chatting. Can I go before you go? Because I know
it is.
I want to know who's just chatting. I want to know
who is chatting.
Okay, so first of all, what's the problem with these guys who are older heads, I don't know how you expect it because this willpower, when you use words like willpower and heart of a champion, I mean, you can't explain nothing that you seen. You just going off
They didn't
narrative.
see it, though. They didn't see it. That's the
They
problem.
didn't see it. So he go with the Shaq thing over Jokic. First of all, bro was clearly just sitting here explaining everything. You just ignore it. You just say, Shaq got the willpower and strength. So Giannis had to be the best player for you for the last 6 years because all he had is willpower and he Euro stepped to the rim. So, first of all, also Mookie, the reason why Jokic is who he is, your trash Clippers in an easy old bubble, y'all created Jokic because when he came back from a 3-1, he was winning MVPs, and the reason why he was losing in the playoffs because you can't put the context of the fact that his team has not been healthy since the bubble, and he been winning MVPs since the bubble. So this is going to be the first year he goes into the playoffs with his team healthy. What the hell does willpower have to do with him losing if his team is not healthy?
Because with the teammates around you, you still got to elevate them.
No
Jamal Murray, you still have to elevate those guys.
Let Joe answer, boys. Let Joe answer.
Sorry.
There, right? Because here's the thing, though, is when it comes into the playoffs, right? If you're that guy and you're a multiple-time MVP league, and everybody expects you to be that dude, and when you're constantly every year, eventually, sooner or later, you guys are saying, hey, if I don't get over the hump, what the hell does it matter?
How far Kobe got?
Look at Steve Nash.
No, wait.
He constantly kept winning MVP awards.
Okay, no.
What did it translate to? It didn't translate to shit.
Two questions.
Nothing.
Two questions.
That's such a
Would Shaq 3-peat without Kobe?
You guys are getting cooked right now.
Was Shaq 3-peat without Kobe?
Those are all hypotheticals.
No. Yes or no? Was Shaq 3-peat without Kobe?
We don't know.
Kobe?
We don't know.
Okay, so
we don't know.
It's such a disingenuous conversation.
We don't know what.
How far did Shaq get when Kobe wasn't the guy? Because remember, everybody just think.
When they were losing to Utah.
Yeah, when they was losing in the 90s. Shaq been on the Lakers, right? Before Kobe extended, right? So what happened? How far did Shaq go?
But you're acting
we ain't gonna happen. Let's talk facts. How far did Shaq go?
No, but you're acting like that was a young Shaq, first of all. That wasn't
it's a young Shaq now. It's a young Shaq now. Well, how old is Jokic then?
Okay. Jokic like 29 years already.
Answer the question.
Jokic's in the middle of his prime already.
How old is Jokic then?
27 right now.
20, 28. 20. Oh, he's 28.
He just turned 28. He just turned 28. He just turned 28.
28. He's in his prime.
With a finals appearance already.
Shaq was in his prime when he was losing. So what are we saying?
Come on. What are we talking about?
At the age of 27, he won a chip.
Exactly. So he's 27, 28.
Yeah, so Jokic in his MVP seasons was 26 and 27.
No,
I think
so Shaq was 26.
Shaq was
right
as well. So it doesn't make any sense.
For me, Lo, the age thing doesn't matter. Like you guys are acting like
he was old.
No, we got Karl Malone.
Wow.
You guys are acting like psychology doesn't play in sports.
No, y'all not smart enough to comprehend. Y'all not smart enough. Listen, y'all just not smart enough to comprehend.
Oh wow, that was
you cannot win unless your team is healthy. Tell me one team that won. I heard everybody say the reason why LeBron lost that first one because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love got hurt. Y'all just not. Okay, can you open your eyes and think for a second? Jokic did not win because his team was not healthy. They gave him the MVPs because he elevated his team, Mr. Elevation, and hit the top floor with the top floor button for the elevator. He elevated his team to a place they shouldn't have been.
You're right. In the regular season.
So why y'all
talking a regular season award? It's a regular season award.
No one is counting that.
Go crazy.
You're saying it like the regular season. Yeah, it's a regular season award.
No, my thing with you guys downplaying the willpower is in the playoffs, the stakes get higher. Some players fold. You might have all the
Jokic folds.
So Jokic
do you think Jokic folds or he loses?
No. Okay, so what is the point of this conversation then if you don't think he folded?
He ain't got no willpower, Lo. That's the willpower.
Hey, I don't make the rules, man.
No. Wait.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
So please. What was Jokic's excuse in the bubble then?
He came back.
AD
He beat the favorite.
Jokic in the bubble. He had Jamal Murray. What was the deal with that shit?
He went to the Western Conference
Finals.
Finals.
I don't think
he was in the conference finals. That was his opportunity. Why didn't he get up then?
I don't think he was good enough at that point. Nor do I think his team was good at this point.
He was
the same reason why Jordan in his first few years lost as well. The same why LeBron in his first few years of his career was losing as well. The same why most players in their first few years in their career
here we go.
don't win championships.
And he
was the same guy that says, I need to go back and watch tape of back the game. Are you really?
He was. I don't think he was that good at that point.
And it wasn't. The Clippers was the favorites. What are you talking about?
And he still beat the favorites. He beat the Clippers.
No. The Clippers weren't the favorites. Lakers were the favorites. The Lakers were the favorites. They were the number one seed in the West that year.
You're lying now. The Clippers were the
favorites, bro. What are you talking about?
The Clippers were the favorites. The Lakers were the number one seed in the West that year. LeBron leveling is this year. What are you talking about?
Denver are the number one seed this year, and they're not the favorites. So being the number one seed doesn't make you the favorite.
In the bubble season, the Lakers were the number one seed that year.
Yeah, and the Clippers were the favorites.
Hold up, but let's be real. Like they thought it was up between the Clippers and Lakers the whole time. They were both.
Exactly. No one saw Denver.
You can't be a favorite if you're not the number one seed.
That's a lie. You're lying.
Gerald, are Denver the favorites right? Gerald, are Denver the favorites right now? Gerald, are Denver the favorites right now?
To win the West?
Yes.
They're considered the top team, yes.
No.
They are not the favorites. Are they the favorites? Are they the favorites?
To come out of the West? Yes.
Okay. It was 2 years.
They've won the best team in the West all year. What are you talking about?
Was Utah the favorites in 2021? Was Utah the favorites in 2020? Was Utah the favorites in 2021?
Was the Atlanta Hawks the favorites when they won 60 games? That Cal Corp was their best player.
Was Toronto the favorites in 2018? Were the Hawks the favorites in 2015? Were Utah the favorites in 2021? These teams being the number one seed doesn't make you the favorites. That's not how it works.
Facts.
I'm trying to get my get back for getting.
If you were a number one seed in your conference in the East or West, you should be considered a favorite. Plain simple.
But they aren't the favorites.
You can't just overlook as you want to. Come on now.
No, I'm saying objectively they aren't the favorites. Like it's not my opinion. They are not the favorites. The favorites in the West, I believe, are the Phoenix Suns.
The Phoenix Suns.
They are not the favorites. I'm like that's just how it is.
What's the betting odds? I'll check the betting odds right now. Let me see.
I think Golden State. I think
Golden Vegas.
Whatever who decides the favorite. I think Golden State are higher in the odds than Denver. I could be wrong.
Golden State, really? They can't even on the damn road.
I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying that's what it is.
What the hell make of that analogy? Come on now.
I'm saying you're saying they're the favorites. I'm saying they're not the favorites.
Saying that somebody's the first seed and they're automatically the favorites is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life.
Saying that dumb argument, Lo.
It is.
The Denver Nuggets are leading in the odds to make it out to West.
Because
we should be considered. Here's why. MVP. He's one of the people with back-to-back years. He's an MVP favorite again this year. They're the number one team in the West this goddamn year and stuff. And don't forget, coming into the season, a lot of people picked the Denver Nuggets to win 60-plus games this year, Lo. Don't tell me this because a lot of people pick that shit.
What does that have to do with
don't overlook that crap.
What does that have to do with you being favorite?
Damn, you thought you
had people were picking you to be that good this year, then people should expect you to get to the damn finals this year. Come on now. How are you going to overlook that crap?
So Atlanta was a favorite in 2015. No, answer the question. Is Atlanta the favorite?
Answer what question?
Atlanta finished with the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, so they were favored to beat LeBron.
They won 60-plus games that year. They beat the Cavaliers multiple times already. So yes, a lot of people do. The only reason
stop telling me what a lot is. Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no.
I don't understand what these numbers mean.
No, not today. Not today, son.
Just
not
say
today.
yes or no.
Check yourself.
Yes or no.
So is the lower number mean you're a bigger favorite?
Yes.
Yeah, the lower number means
it says Phoenix are plus 60
games that year.
Phoenix are plus 650, Denver are plus 70.
No.
Because why? They won 2 bucks here. They beat the Cavs multiple times. The only reason they didn't come in the East that year,
the numbers I'm seeing say Phoenix are favorite
in the playoffs, which you're overlooking.
Okay, wait, hold up, Mars. What you're looking at is the favorite to win the title. When you look at the conference like division winners. I don't know why it's like that, but for some reason the Denver Nuggets.
Wait, so Phoenix are more likely to win the title, but Denver are more likely to win the West. That doesn't make sense.
Yes, I know it don't make sense. That's what the odds are, though.
A lot of people picked Phoenix to win last year too. When Phoenix won 64 games last season, everybody's picking them last year too.
Yes or no?
That doesn't.
Were the Atlanta Hawks favorites to come out of the East?
Look, it's right here. This is the West, and then
See,
Denver's
Mars, so
leading that.
if you got the willpower, you don't have to win the West Conference. You just go
But
straight
then
to
for the
champion.
finals, Mars,
When he just
for the
willpower.
finals, Mars, look, for
We
some
just
reason,
not
the
making
Suns are
sense.
above them.
That okay, so that makes
putting
zero
context
sense. But
behind
okay, so
anything.
Denver are the favorites in the West, but Phoenix are the more favorite to win the.
Probably because
title.
Probably because they're counting health of KD.
Also-
being out.
So they're not accounting
so-
health in the Western
Yeah,
Conference.
exactly. So,
I don't make the rules. I don't. That's
So
what it is.
I'm just saying that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't-
how do you get?
Can't tell me they're not.
To the gentleman who said about like you had to be like win the championship.
I'm using
left
FanDuel,
off
you
or
idiot.
something. So like that means also like Stockton cannot be in a conversation to be a top 10 passer because he never won a championship.
No, top. You can be top 10, but the best ever? No way. Not
Can you
a-
be
No.
second best ever?
Low.
You just said
You're all
Jokic is the
over
best
the place,
passer.
dog. You're all over
You
the
just,
place.
when you had this debate with Nash, though, you said you valued flashy passing. Remember? I value flashy passing.
I value the difficulty of the passes.
I
No,
value
you didn't. No, you didn't. When you paid Steve Nash on a top 10 pick with Mars, you agree with that one guy. Said, "Oh, I agree because it's flashy passing."
I'm telling you right now, the difficulty of the pass, which would display the level of skill you have when it comes to passing.
low. Who
So-
decides?
That's a part of the conversation.
So Stockton didn't have a difficult time passing the ball.
I don't think his passes were as difficult as many other players were. No.
Stockton's one. Oh my God!
It just
Seriously?
became a Stockton thing again. Let
Oh,
this.
seriously.
I'm trying to.
No.
You definitely need to go back and watch tape, bro. Seriously, really, bro.
We did already, bro. We did.
Because apparently you didn't go up on that time for apparently kindergartner.
How old are you?
It's a touch of gray there, so he just seen it. It's a touch
How
of
old
gray
are you?
there,
How
so
old
he
are you?
seen it.
How old are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
I mean, that's not what I asked you. How old are you? How old are you?
I turned 40 this year.
Fire.
You're
Congrats,
40.
brother.
So if you're 40, you were like what? You were 8 years old when John Stockton was playing?
When John Stockton entered his
Stockton came in the league in 84, 85. What are you talking about, bro? He came in the
that
same
makes
time
it
as
one. That
Jordan
means
came
you were
out.
one. That means you were
Yeah.
one.
So
And
you
then, hold on,
watch-
wait. Do you live in Utah?
so-
Because
so
it wasn't no leagues pass back in the day like that. So you from?
You know I watched about all through the 90s, right? I watched all through the 90s, the entire 90 era.
But I'm saying, do you got what
And high
part?
school
What
and
city you
everything.
from?
Yep.
Because Utah games wasn't on TV like that, unless
They
it was the
weren't.
playoffs. So unless you got league pass before everybody ever could touch league pass, you ain't watch every game like that.
Bro, you were like 7 years old when this was going on, bro. What are you talking about?
I
You
went
doing
to
just as
when
much
they
as
went to
7 years
finals.
old.
Come on,
7 years old.
Come on now.
When he entered his prime, you were like 5, 7 years old. That's
You ain't know
old
what
you
was
were.
going on.
You didn't watching that game. What are you talking about?
You
Wait,
did just
low,
as
low,
much.
low,
You
low.
were. No, stop.
Low,
That's
low,
a fact.
Low. Joe, no.
No, hell no.
Because they were alive.
No.
I watched basketball back
Wait.
then.
Damn, Low.
You
Wait a
talking
minute.
about what, 2000 low probably?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
But I'm not gonna lie about me watching.
No, Low. Wait.
Then why did you want to go look at tape then, low?
Wait, low.
Because you didn't know that's why.
What are you guys arguing about?
Because you didn't got the That's why you want to look at tape.
Go.
If we do the math, it's 2023. He was born in 1983 or 1982.
Yes.
He
1980.
said, I watched the 90s. He said he watched all of the 90s. So that's from 10 to 20. So he was watching games throughout middle school, high school.
No, that's from 7. That's from 7 to 17.
He was
If
born
I
in
was born in
1983.
1983, so 1990 would make him 7 years old, dog.
He watched it from 1993 all the way out to 2003.
Hey,
That's how I'm going off of it.
Dub.
Oh, so
talking
what-
about?
oh,
If you're
okay.
if you
Okay.
went in 1983, 7 years from that would be 1990. So 1990 started when he was 7 years old. Like I said,
7 all the way to 17. It's 7 all the
Yeah,
way to
but okay,
17 then.
Okay, but Dub, if I'm just now watching Chris Paul, would I have an accurate depiction of who Chris Paul is?
No.
No. I'm not arguing
Okay.
with y'all. I'm just arguing the age.
No,
because
but
He's from 10 to it's literally from 7 to 17, bro.
I said 7. He when the 90s started, he was 7.
Yeah,
You were
which is
7.
crazy.
Now look, let's
So,
he was
so
not
again,
Low.
you're
Look,
not-
Low, let's be.
If I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then
Hold on, wait,
You
bro.
were
Hold on, wait.
7, bro.
Let's
No,
keep it.
no,
Hold
no,
on,
no.
wait, bro. Let's keep
Wait,
it a
wait.
bug. You know,
Nah,
he was
because I
not
feel
watching-
sentimental
you
towards
know
that.
he
You
was
wanna know
not
why?
watching.
Because no, you want to know why I feel sentimental? Because I remember watching the Miami Heat in 06 and everything, and I did the due diligence of going back and watching it, and I'm pretty accurate.
He said
pretty
he
accurate.
doesn't do it.
Hey,
Dub, he said he doesn't do
hey,
it, though.
I can
He said
stand
he
on it
doesn't
and
do
say he
it.
was not watching John Stockton throwing them spectacular pass. He was sitting in the house watching Tom and Jerry. He was sitting in the house watching Tom and Jerry. And you was watching the Power Rangers. Not playing.
I saw Stockton play. You know what I'm telling us? I saw Stockton play. Come on.
Watching that.
What year?
Dub, do you believe 8-year-olds are evaluating basketball?
No, they're not.
No, he was not. He
No,
was
they're not.
evaluating Bugs Bunny.
No, you were not.
wasn't
Stop
evaluating-
lying. You were not evaluating basketball to an understanding
Yes,
of
I
what's
was.
going on. No, not at 7 or 8. No, you're not, bro.
No, yes, I was. Don't tell me I don't know.
So
I know what the hell I know. Don't tell me I don't know.
A 7-year-old came in here right now. They would be able to
Let me
tell you what's going
explain.
on.
I mean, I'm right here. But
Let me explain to me.
No,
You
you
weren't,
want
bro.
to understand the
Let
soccer.
me explain something right now.
Stop it, man.
Shut up. Let me explain.
You were
Evaluating
7,
Bugs Bunny and
You were
Daffy
7.
Let me explain.
Explain. Let him explain. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
were 7, dog.
He was watching Daffy Duck. He was watching.
Let me explain something to you, right?
Homie, you're getting
When I
cooked,
was a
man.
child, right?
You're getting cooked.
When I grew up in the 90s, which I did, me and my dad, we would sit there during every single game we watched. And my dad, we would analyze every single game we were watching. We were kids and stuff. And don't forget, back in the day, we had a thing called VCRs back then too, where you can put a tape, put in a tape recorder, and record the game. And a lot of times, me and my dad would go back and reanalyze those games over and over and over and over again when I was a child.
How many channels did you
So
have?
therefore,
How
I could
many
break
channels
down
did
the
you have?
play literally over and over and over again.
How many games did you have access to?
Yeah, well, no, let me answer that. How many channels do you have access to?
How many games did you have access
How many
to?
channels do you have access to?
In the 90s that were showing basketball from across the league, not just the city you were in.
What's up?
What city are you from, by the way?
What city did you grow
What
up
city
in?
did
What
you grow
city
up
did you
in?
grow up in?
What's that? I grew up in Illinois.
Bro, shut the
Chicago.
fuck up, bro.
Well, you watched the bull. You watched the
You
Bulls
didn't
game.
watch Utah, bro.
You never watched.
You
regular
only
season
watch Utah like on weekend
That's
games.
crazy.
or
Lo. How
during
you gonna sit here and
Christmas.
tell him what he won't watch? Like that's
That's
bro.
even no.
That's
Yo,
so
what's
fucked up.
crazy is
Not gonna
even
lie. That's so
chill.
bad.
Even
But
chill.
Fluent tells you that he did.
But no, Fluent says LA game.
Yeah, but how many nationally televised Utah Jazz games do you think there were in 1991?
Exactly.
Probably like 11.
But this be
that.
And that's
talking about John Stockton.
and that's
though.
me being generous.
Y'all fucked up right now. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
No, he was
If
watching
you go
Tom
back
and
to the
Jerry.
90s, right?
We ain't gotta lie about it. You weren't watching the game to understand what was going on.
But even if you did, even if y'all recorded it, right? Even if y'all recorded it, there's not that many Stockton and Malone games being played at that time that's being shown on television, bro.
Oh my God, Lo, you weren't even around that time. How old are you, Lo? How old are you?
Well, I'm 30.
Jesus Christ.
You're 30. Oh my God, seriously? You weren't even alive when Jordan three-peated. What the hell are you talking about?
You're not listening.
Don't sit there and talk about that.
He was alive for the second one.
Listen,
He was alive for the second one.
No, he was alive for the first.
I was alive. Actually, I was alive for the. I was alive for the second one.
So when did you start watching basketball?
The first one you missed like the first year.
Listen. I started watching basketball around like 7 or 8. However, I'm not going to.
So you didn't. So that means you didn't start watching that until 2000.
Listen.
So you never even saw Stockton play then.
Listen.
So how the hell would you know then?
Listen.
In my conversation, thank you.
Yo, fellas, I appreciate y'all.
I started watching basketball around the early 2000s, right? But
you didn't start off to the early 2000s.
Bro,
he said, "Look,
come on now."
He said he watched it, but you did not understand what you was watching.
You're not listening. You're
not listening, bro.
I watched basketball in the early 2000s. That's when I started watching it, right? However, I was 7. I am not going to sit here and lie to people that I had an understanding of what was going on, especially to the extent that I know now when I was 7, because I was 7. Listen. I was also alive during Michael Jordan's career as well. I'm not going to lie, however, and say when I was 5 that I was watching Michael Jordan, because that would be a lie. What you, sir, what you're doing is
I am not lying. Do not call me a liar. I am not a liar.
Listen. When I'm saying, even if
I'm not a liar, don't call me a liar.
Listen,
Yeah, that's fucked
even
up,
if your father did record the games and y'all sat down and y'all broke down footage, it's Utah games. There weren't that many games on Utah, especially if you didn't live in the vicinity.
You wouldn't know. You weren't alive at that time. You were born into 93, Low.
I'll call the gentleman that I know who used to work for the league, and I'll ask him how many games. You tell me a year. Tell me a year right now, and I'll ask him how many games of Utah games that they had nationally televised.
In the early 90s too, not
the early 90s.
Late 90s, you probably got more because
what year you want me to call about? What year you want me to call about?
That's why you know you capping, bro.
What year you want me to call about, bro?
It wasn't that popular like that.
What is wrong with you guys?
Because he's lying. I get tired of people lying. He's lying.
How the hell am I lying? Do not call me a liar.
I'm calling you one, bro.
Yes, he's a capper.
You the one lying on bird. You the one lying on goddamn bird. You the one lying on goddamn bird. I don't know shit.
I got some super chat.
Bro. Stop lying.
I got some super
I ain't lying on shit.
You're lying.
If you paid attention,
really?
You paid attention more to Bugs.
You want to tell I'm lying? In 1991, if I'm lying to you, in 1991, Isaiah Thomas was 29 years old. Joe Dumars was 27. Robert was 29.
I can Google that,
was 35. Now, how would I know their ages if I didn't watch basketball back then?
Basketball reference.
In 1984, Jordan was 21. I guarantee you I didn't exist. I guarantee you I didn't exist.
I knew that as well, and I wasn't even alive. I knew that.
Listen. I got super chats to get.
Man, get him. He's lying.
He just asked how he would know someone's age if he wasn't alive. Like, what?
You know what's so annoying? Like, you don't even know if he's lying, bro. This is weird. Like, this is like a weird ass argument. Like, what are we talking about?
Yes, Dub. I do know.
I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar.
Yes, I do.
No,
there's no way that he broke. There's no way.
No way, dog.
Stop.
Even if they did it, it's like 5 or 6 games, bro. It wasn't that many games.
No, I'm gonna tell you how good my memory is.
And if you want to be really honest, the only way you can really get a better understanding of basketball at that age was probably playing the games. And during that time, it wasn't no live where it's actually full bot looking players. You had NBA Jam. That's some parts.
I got super chat. I got some super chats, bro.
And that don't even help you.
Chats. Y'all being weird right now.
I'm being weird, or the nigga who's lying being weird?
You are being weird, Lo. You are being weird. It's Mister. This super chat to bowl with the Bulls in the background. Cook. That was for you, SB. Angie Carr. Oh, shout out to Angie. Thoughts on ring culture? Do you think chips should matter more to your resume if a top tier player like Dame? And should securing the bag be more important than competing?
People should do whatever makes them happy. If they want money, get money. I'm never going to tell someone not to want to get paid. That's dumb. But I don't like ring culture. I've spoken about it many times. Acting like someone's better than someone because their team won is stupid to me. So I don't like the idea that nothing someone does matters if they don't win. I don't like the idea that nothing Kevin Garnett did in Minnesota mattered because he didn't win a championship. I don't like the idea that Shaq's Orlando years didn't matter because he never won a championship. I don't like the idea that Hakeem was doing nothing for his career for 10 years because he never won a championship. I don't like any of those beliefs. I don't like that you think Kareem didn't matter post 1971 all the way until 1980 because he never won a championship. Every year of someone's career matters whether or not they win or they lose. And you winning doesn't make you a better player than someone who lost because there's so much more context that goes in to winning than one person's individual play.
Bro, in the 1991-1992 season, only 4 Knicks games were televised, bro.
Oh my god!
Can
somebody answer the question, please?
I'm on
his head, bro.
I'm gonna explain it now, right?
You're not gonna be able to.
Wait, before y'all go back on that tenure, let me answer.
No.
Y'all finna go on a whole down. Hey, look, just let it go, bro. Just let it go, bro. Well, look, so the ring culture is a problem because we got players.
Let me explain it to you.
Bro, let me answer
how many people in this panel?
Chill. Let me answer the
No.
super chat.
No. Let me explain.
No, bro, somebody paid to get a question answered, bro. You got to answer the super chat. That's how YouTube works. I know you don't understand how a lot of stuff works.
What was
analyze it.
what was the super chat? Show it to me.
I got you. Do you think it's important, like ring culture? Like thoughts on ring culture? Go ahead, SB, and then Joe can answer.
But I just say I hate the ring culture thing because a lot of great players do get forgotten, like Dominique Wilkins. Jason Kidd, his prime peak because he didn't really win, and I hate it, but that's the part that people care about because now it'd be like the same thing like Buddy right here was just saying, like how Jokic didn't win anything, he should be labeled fraud, but not putting context on the fact his team was hurt his last 2 years as MVP run. So nobody don't put no context on it. They just say if you win or not. But then if you don't like the player, they go on top and say, well, LeBron rings ain't this value, KD rings not this value, this ring rate more than that. But when you look on Basketball Reference, y'all favorite website, it just say X amount of championships won. It don't say this ring rate more, this happened. They don't do that. So I think we should take that away. And then maybe we also could get rivalries back in the regular season. The regular season can matter a little bit, and then people won't be just taking games off. But that's just me.
Go ahead. You can go ahead and answer first, and I'll answer.
Go ahead, Gerald. Is winning a ring important? Is ring culture important, especially in your resume?
What's up?
Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't hear the question. Sorry, I heard a static. That's why.
No problem. Thoughts on ring culture, and should chips matter in your resume for a top tier player like Damian Lillard? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Rings should essentially matter, especially if you have a quality team. But if not, then obviously not. It should more so depending on the team in which you play for and how you performed on said team, and if when the opportunity presented itself, were you able to be consistent with the production that you have? But the only reason why people are that hell bent on ring culture is because they didn't watch the games back then. That's all they watched. They just watched the finals. That's all they knew.
Yep, that's all that's on tape because they wasn't that many national televised games.
It was.
Last part of the question: is securing the bag more important than competing? I
didn't just watch the finals. Sorry.
Nice.
I believe you. I
mean, if you asking me from a regular person perspective, go get the bag. But I mean, once you get to that point, I mean, you got to show about winning for once because I've seen people cook Carmelo Anthony for taking the bag. But then
I'm going to ask you. How many?
Go ahead, bro.
How many people in this panel remember the Julio Cesar Chavez Pernell Whitaker fight?
What's that? Julio Cesar Chavez for what?
And the Pernell Whitaker. How many people remember that fight?
I mean,
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Pernell Whitaker fight.
We talking about boxing?
I don't remember it like that. Why?
I mean, what they got to do with the topic, bro?
I don't know.
You confused.
You guys were.
Because Low called me a liar. I don't know my back. I was too young to remember. That fight took place in 91, 92.
Okay.
I was 8, 9 years old. So how the hell would I remember a fight that took place that long ago?
What happened in that fight?
What happens in the 6th round of that fight?
How many uppercuts was thrown in that fight?
What is wrong with you guys?
What happened in that fight? No. What happened in the fight?
In the fight, the fight went to decision. A lot of people believe Pernell Whitaker should have won that fight. He was screwed over in that fight. That's why.
No, that's not why. What happens in the 6th round of that fight?
How many jabs did Cesar Chavez throw?
What happened in the 6th round? What happened in the 6th round?
You don't even remember that fight, though. You weren't even born yet.
No.
I don't. I know I didn't.
What happens in the 6th rounds of that fight?
Oh my god.
How many uppercuts was thrown?
Yes. Wait. What happened in the 6th round? Yes.
I just want you to teach me because I didn't see it.
No. Let me answer. What happened in the 6th round?
What's wrong with you guys?
I think in the 6th round, if I remember correctly, I think Pernell.
I just want to learn because I didn't see it. That's why I'm saying.
I'm watching the 6th round right now.
How many uppercuts?
Let me watch it too, so I can get a more accurate depiction.
Mars, how many uppercuts?
There was a pretty important.
But I know that Pernell Whitaker was screwed in that fight though, and then Chavez should have lost that fight.
No. I can learn that as well by just reading up on it. What happened in the 6th round? Since you remember, Because you remember all these John Stockton plays, all these Michael Jordan plays, all these Ewings.
I didn't remember shit.
No,
I don't remember anything.
So I also want you
I
to
was
tell me
alive
what
when I
happened.
saw that fight, Lo.
Huh? Say it again.
I was alive in that fight. Back in the days. Back in the days, they used to show boxing on HBO back in the 90s.
So what happened in the 6th round?
I can't remember every single round.
No, but that's the point. The point is, you can remember the outcomes of things. I'm not. Yes. You'll hear my point. Just let me get it off. The point is, people who were around to see these things live, they can remember the outcomes of things. If I ask someone who was alive in 1987 who won the championship, they will know the Lakers won the championship. But if I ask them what happened in Game 2 of the finals in the 3rd quarter, they wouldn't know because they can't remember 35 years ago. Like, for example, I just watched round 6 of this Pernell Whitaker fight. Pernell Whitaker threw a low blow to Julio Cesar Chavez in that fight in round 6. That's a pretty important part of the fight. That's pretty important. That's pretty important, but you couldn't remember that. He also punched him after the bell in round 6. That's something that just happened.
I can't remember.
I just saw that. You won't. That's my point. You won't remember what happened 30 years ago, and I'm not expecting you to. That's why we go back and watch these things, and we can make an opinion.
But hold on, wait. But
please tell me you're understanding the point I'm making right now.
You understand what he's saying, though?
I'm not saying these things to disagree with you or to make you look dumb or anything. I'm just saying people cannot remember what happened to the point of 30 years ago. They can't. If I ask someone who was around in 2004 what happened in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, they won't remember everything. They won't remember the clutch.
They remember the most.
They might. Part. They remember that Detroit won that series, and I remember it was a 5-game series. That's cool. But you won't remember the specific parts of details.
Please.
That's what you remember.
Please.
No, I'm not gonna say that bad. If I ask you was the Bucks and Suns fight 2 years ago, who got the steal in the 4th quarter? Everybody, you could quick out back say Drew Holiday got the steal for the seal the game off. That's the point we making, bro. That's it.
I won't
go that bad, bro.
No problem. I got a few more super chats to get uses. Does Stockton's lack of scoring gravity not amplify his skill as a passer? Being able to make passes when you can't manipulate the D seems impressive.
Oh my! Please, why y'all just give him another?
because the way that he got a lot of his passes off really weren't off of. It's not as if like it was clogged paints or anything like that. Utah used offensive schemes that made it to where like Karl Malone in the post would have a lot of advantages because they would just manipulate illegal defense to a much more of an extent than a lot of other teams. So even when they were doing entry passes, it's not like it was like a clogged paint. Sure, there may have been some weak side help here and there, but they specifically did it to where they would like do that. And then when it comes to the wings would come off a certain way where there would be 2 bigs in the paint setting screens. Wings would come off on floppy, and he would pass it to them. So it wasn't as if like there were that many people, like ability to like play the passing lanes or anything like that. Their offense that they ran was very rudimentary, but it was very effective. But it was very rudimentary.
But you have to remember, so back in this, when Stockton played out 2 was this. You have to look back at this. Back in the days, you were allowed to hand check back then, which he's not bringing up in this case in the argument. Yes, they did low the hand check back, and you know they did.
No, go.
Stop that.
Go ahead.
Don't forget, back then, you were allowed to press someone from full court to full court. And when you brought the ball back up, though, a lot of times back in the days, they call it half-court defense. So a lot of teams would cut the court in half for you back then. And you were allowed to hand check, and you were allowed to move a guy to a certain position back then like this as well, too. So therefore, when you did that, though, you had to be able to figure out to not let him do that, though, right? If he did that, though, guess what, though? You had to figure out how to not let him do that for you. So then you had to be able to create the space in order to avoid that kind of thing like that as well, too. And also, when you pass on the perimeter back in those days, though, too, though, if you didn't make a good enough pass back on the perimeter, it would get picked off. Because a lot of times, a guy would go like this on the perimeter. They go like this on the perimeter, like this.
Facts.
And also on top, if you try to pick and roll back then, so you had to pick and roll in a tight window then. The window was a lot tighter, though, so the pattern had to be more proficient, more accurate. If you made a bad pass, then it was going to get picked off back then. And even if you made a pass when a guy picked and rolled, there was a big man to protect the rim back then. So you always had to know exactly where to pass the ball at all times, though, constantly, though. We always talk about in football, right? About Aaron Rodgers, right? How he makes those tight window passes, right? And stuff like that, right? If the window's tighter back then, right, it makes those passes a lot harder. If the windows are more opener, the passes are easier.
Okay.
You cannot create. You cannot talk about space. Space matters in basketball. Back then there was less space. Nowadays there's more space. If you pass the ball down the perimeter, right, the defender's like this back then, right? Nowadays it's like this.
I got you, bro. I'm getting to some other super chats. Give me 1 second. Who's more underrated, Deron Williams or Mike Conley?
Mike Conley.
Mike Conley.
Really? That easy?
Everybody talks about
Deran Williams had a good peak, like two good peaks. Utah and went to the Nets. So
yeah,
gotcha,
everybody and a lot of people know about
Deran Williams.
Deran Williams. Not like
shout out to the Fighting Atlanta.
Player's choice is ages, and I won't stand for it. It's crazy.
They got a couple old guys on the shows. How y'all ages?
Markel Anthony, just look it up. In the 90-91 season, NBC, who had the rights to the NBA, only televised 20 games. I doubt Utah were any of those games.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'm waiting for the subscription for this article before I can read the whole thing.
Rondo told CP3 he will be forgotten because of
low bad the subscription to prove a point. You is the ultimate villain, bro. This man bad the subscription just to prove a point.
It must be nice. I feel saying it really must be nice, which is crazy.
Give somebody $1, low man.
I feel saying ring culture is important comes from you guys who haven't competed or actually played a sport at a high level, or those who haven't won.
I
actually won tournaments. So
yeah, but we not saying
I won tournaments and I still feel the same exact way. My team I was a part of a team that broke our school record. We were the best team in our school's history.
Yeah.
That was a measure of how good our team was, not a measure of how good I was. And I won individual tournaments, and we did that as a team together. So,
and nobody's saying rings don't matter. We just saying that like the guys who don't get rings, that's not fair for them to be forgotten. And at least Dame getting some respect, ranking him top 75. But like people don't give people with rings respect. And it's crazy to me also that all these guys nowadays just think about like rings matter. But back in the day, all the old heads used to disrespect Scottie Pippen, saying he don't deserve to be top 50. And he got 2-3 peats and 6 rings. But now rings all of a sudden rings matter everything. But rings didn't matter when y'all didn't like Scottie because he was a number 2.
I think if you played team sports, I think you'd probably agree with what we're saying up here more so because you understand what goes into winning and you'd understand the taste. The people who didn't play sports, in my opinion, are the ones who are going to say nothing you do matters if you didn't win because they don't understand what it actually takes to be able to win. Like for me, I always say up here I've never played sports because I don't think anyone who's watching needs to know my history of sports. It's not relevant. Nothing with my history of sports should determine whether or not you think my opinion is valid, whether I played sports at a high level or didn't. So I'm just going to say I didn't because it doesn't matter. Yep. But my opinions aren't determined based on what I experienced playing sports, and you shouldn't take my opinion as law based on whether or not I played sports or not. That's just dumb. My opinion is valid based on what I say, not based on my experience in sports. That's how I've always
even
done.
Then, that guy right there would disagree with Keith Clausen Dell for having KD so high, but they both played basketball at an extremely high level. What are you talking about?
Because we just see a lot of people who actually played in the NBA don't know what they talk about. Kendrick Perkins on TV before, you know what I'm saying? But take since he played in the league, take what he say about law then, I guess.
And he won as well, so he must have.
Right. You know, he's a champion.
Shane Howard. Low was a bully, cut it out, Low. LMFAO. Exactly. So nasty.
Yeah, Low is super bully, man.
Exactly. SB super chatters from Angie Carr. Leave it to Low Mars to cook them. Shane Howard, y'all want to see a dead body. This is
that's
crazy. This gentleman in the lower left corner mentioned that kid's 2011 ring gets devalued because he won it past his prime. I've heard the same for Peyton's 2006
Nobody
ring.
said that.
Is LeBron's scoring record of less value?
No, because the scoring record is based on longevity.
And based on your actual skill and what you produce as an individual. And the ring is more so based off of team. And when we look at what they produced in terms of their contributions to their team success, it isn't significant enough to give some type of representation of who they are.
And then what I said exactly, I said people devalue Jason Kidd's career before he won because everybody with the ring culture only mattered. Like Jason Kidd didn't make 2 finals appearances. I didn't say his ring in 2011 was devalued.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
What, Dub? Dub.
No. It's not y'all. Not anything y'all said. Y'all got it. Angie Carr, dude in the top right got
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's crazy, AG. Mahmud Abdul-Rauf used to cook Stockton.
Jesus Christ.
Mahmud
Christ.
Abdul.
Jesus.
I'm not good at pronouncing names. Y'all know this. When I go outside and talk to people, I barely know people's names. I just know faces. Used to cook Stockton. Hashtag stop it.
He wasn't the only one.
Hey, Gerald and SB, I appreciate the time y'all spent with us, though. I gotta get some other guys up here, though. Appreciate the love y'all showed. Gerald, do you have any other socials besides the one you gave me? Anyone?
What's up?
Do you have any other socials besides the one you gave me? Yes or no?
You can look up my wife Emmanuel McIntosh. That's where you can find me at.
Fire. Got you, brother.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. That's why.
No problem. You have a good day, my guy. Peace.
All right, man. Salute, y'all.
Salute, SB.
Why did you stop that, Doug? We're making a lot of good progress, man.
No, bro, you a nasty dude, bro.
I am.
I know.
Very nasty.
Yes.
What's good, fellas?
What's up?
How you doing?
And yo, Dub, I'm getting tired of this. The more and more I research, the more and more I realize, bro.
I don't want to hear.
There wasn't
bro.
that many
I
televised
don't
games, bro.
it.
So they just be lying, dog.
I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I don't get that, bro.
Dub, keep him up because it's content.
It's content. Why is it so hard for you to admit that he was just lying?
I'm not gonna sit here unless I know firsthand was in that moment. I'm not just gonna call people liars.
But it's just fact. It's just fact. It's just known facts that he couldn't have watched as much as he says he did.
All he said.
How do you know though?
You don't even know.
Because
there could be anomalies. There could be anomalies.
It wasn't available.
Maybe every time Utah played, he made a trip.
Low. There could be anomalies though. Correct.
All right, so Dub, if somebody said, yes, there could be, but Dub, if somebody said I had an iPhone in '97,
that's not what he said.
It is what he's saying. It is what he's saying.
That's not what he's saying.
If it's not available, how could you have an iPhone in '97, Dub?
That's not what he's saying, bro.
If the Utah Jazz were not available for him to watch, how did he watch Utah Jazz?
Because probably the games that were available.
And you're right, Dub. I'm about to figure out right now. I'm about to finish your subscription, and I'm about to figure out right now.
If it's like 20 games, like you're not going to tell me that at least one game a season he didn't grab like 2 or 3 of those games to watch.
2 or 3?
Two or three games out of 8?
Come on, only 4 Knicks games were televised. So you telling me that there was multiple Utah Jazz games?
I mean, they were the best team around that time, but still.
But they're Utah. It's Utah.
True. Utah was still lit around that time. That was their prime. That's the best Utah ever been.
I'm just telling you, don't be caping for him. Let me figure out.
I'm just.
I'm just not a fan of just calling people liars, bro. Because when I do that, I get crucified for it.
I'm not a fan of people lying, up.
That's crazy. You're not letting him get off of that, are you?
They just don't like Stockton, bro. Which is
no. I'm not gonna lie, Low.
No,
you
I don't like
crazy
people.
when it comes to Stockton.
No. This is what I don't like. I don't like because the more and more I learn about things, the more and more I realize like people like they just didn't watch any games back then. Like Elder and I almost got into a back and forth where I was like telling him like, y'all just didn't watch that many games back then. And he was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, it's not like a knock, but this is like. Objectively speaking, it just wasn't that many games available for you all to watch, which is fine, but it just wasn't. So, like, when we had this whole back and forth about what somebody did or didn't do back then, y'all are going off of either what ESPN is showing on highlights, what you read in the newspaper, or folk tales that get passed down from one generation to the next. When I go back and I rewatch these games, Wilt Chamberlain in that Willis Reed game is garbanzo beans. He's trash.
You know what's annoying to me though? You know what's annoying?
He's
that's one of the worst games I've ever seen.
It's a horrible game from him, and yet what the other thing I don't like is that the reason why they're so critical of today's players is because we get to watch them. But when we go back and we rewatch everyone else and we hold them to the same standards that we have the ability to hold today's players standards to, then it shouldn't be that crazy that Wilt Chamberlain is not in my top 10. If you rewatch, especially the excuses that y'all get a Larry Bird from me not having my top 10, I'm just going off what y'all tell me.
When you say top 10, do you mean top 10 PG?
Oh no, Stockton is like 9 or 10, but I get a couple more whiffs of these Walt Frazier games. He might not be in that top 10 no more, though. I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, you tweaking, man.
Wait, you don't have Walt Frazier top 10?
You know you can go.
I have him right outside the top 10, like 11. I'm right.
Okay.
You can go watch John Stockton games right now, bro. You
I
can
do, and I don't, and that's the thing. He gets worse when I watch him.
Oh no, you're tweaking.
Hey,
what season are you watching right now, bro?
I
almost watch every available Utah Jazz game.
You go back. I'll give you a website. You go back and watch that '93 season, bro. John Stockton just looked like that guy, bro. This narrative that everyone is saying that he just throws the ball in the paint. You know what I'm saying? It's just a basic throw the ball in the paint to Carmelo goes up for the layup. Or
no, well, I don't say that. I don't say that it's just Carmelo.
No, but I have heard you say that majority of his assists were just pick and rolls.
I've never said that either. I've said the opposite, actually. I said they didn't run as many pick and rolls as many people say that they do. It's a lot more floppy action. It's a lot more post-ups and pick and roll with specifically Carmelo, and in particular, like the mid to early 90s. It wasn't that often at all, actually.
I think just with his passes, when you guys start to rate passing, you guys are looking more for the more skilled passer. And John Stockton,
which is right, yeah, the more skilled passing.
No. And when y'all rate skills, y'all mean like
more skilled, yes.
I feel like y'all overdo it though. Y'all expect him to be like how everyone is today, and he gets double, triple team, and he just passes to someone and shoots it correctly. Like, what did y'all?
I would like him to have the same level of skill passing as like Mark Price, Magic Johnson, players of his own era, Isaiah Thomas. Players of his own era.
So I gotta.
Magic was different.
Hey, wait. So I got a question. I've got a question for you in the bottom middle.
Yeah.
Do you think that any point guard? I'll give an example. Do you think, for example, do you think Tyus Jones could do what John Stockton did?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You said yes?
Yeah.
Oh no, see, I wouldn't even go that crazy.
But then at the same time, you have to realize though, John Stockton did his at a higher level. People had the same thing around the same time. You had the same abilities to do floppy action. They had the same thing to do post-ups.
But they didn't have the same personnel.
No, they didn't have the same personnel. But you're not going to tell me that.
Wouldn't that be a huge factor?
Carmelo was a good denominator, like one of the best people there. We understand that. But then at the same time, he wasn't just passing to Carmelo.
But that's my point, though.
Yeah, he had pieces.
He had other pieces. I keep telling you that.
Thurl
Bailey, Jeff Malone. What's the other gentleman name?
Jeff Hornacek.
Jeff Hornacek. He had several other players to pass it to. I
keep telling you that. Said Tyus Jones could do what Stockton did. Is that
Tyus Jones is crazy? No, that's a.
Okay, but you can say the same thing about Chris Paul, bro. Tyus Jones can do the same thing Chris Paul can do if you put him inside of that element, bro. And we're not gonna sit here and act like because look, y'all.
I'm not saying that.
Anybody can do anything that Chris Paul does, bro. Anybody.
What?
I don't even like Chris Paul. I would not put John Stockton in the same category as him.
But
pick and roll, pick and roll,
facilitate, and he's in the pick and roll with Dub. What were their name? Lob City. Like, come on, bro.
He created Lob City.
Of course,
he created it.
Rolls.
He created Lob City.
But wait, before Lob City, before. He did. There had to be. It has to be a point guard to throw the lob.
To make those passes. I'm sorry.
First of all, I'm just now acknowledging this fucking Mars photo you have on you.
No, that's not moving me. Oh, that's because he never takes his hat off. No, there.
Like, really, Mars?
Oh, Mars,
clean, bro. The hairline's clean, bro.
Facts. I think he got earrings on too.
He like Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper right there.
Okay.
No, bro, he always got that hood on, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
You guys didn't know that was me.
It took me a while to realize.
I thought he was.
Wait. If that's the case, why did Chris Paul average? Who was Chris Paul passing it to before Lob City?
I have no idea. He was
David West.
David West. Y'all bailing him out.
No, I'm saying he was passing it to David West. He was passing it to.
And that was a lob threat.
No, it wasn't a lob threat, but I'm saying he had lob threats. That's what's going to happen. Anybody that you put on that team could have did that, though, bro.
But if you remove him from his lob threats, he still had great assisting seasons, though.
True.
So it's not like he was dependent on that. That's what I'm saying.
That's
They were
true.
they
I
were
don't know where that
dependent.
came from. I don't think I
They
see that good.
they were dependent on him because DeAndre Jordan is a guy where he was never the same without Chris Paul.
DeAndre Jordan.
I mean, he
Clint
never had another player
Capella.
to just. He
Clint
never had
Capella.
another.
Clint Capella had some of his best seasons with Chris Paul and James Harden.
Oh Lord.
Wait. You say he. What was you about to say? He never what?
I don't think he's had another player or another team where he's able to just run into the paint and they throw lobs to him the whole time. I don't think he's ever been in that position before.
Okay,
when DeAndre Jordan left too, like the big man was kind of out the picture at that point because that's when Golden State brought the small ball lineup,
and it was just shooting.
Yeah, it was just a small ball type shit.
Well, you had to explain to me why Blake Griffin in as well, because Blake wasn't even when he went to Detroit, he was not playing like that anymore.
Bro, he didn't want to be in Detroit.
That first year, no. That's different. That's a crazy context.
He played like
he gave up.
No. All right, now you're just wait. Time out. Now you're lying. Now you guys are lying. No, now everybody up here is lying. Everybody up here is lying. Time out. The reason why he fell off has nothing to do with Chris Paul and has nothing to do with him not wanting to play. He just kept getting hurt.
No, he had a great year.
He had a great year the first year. After that, he started getting hurt.
I know,
but he also don't like Chris Paul.
What I'm saying is, in his 2019 season, he didn't play like that. That's what I'm saying. He played differently and was still very productive.
I think 2019.
Oh, he didn't play the same way. That is true. That is true.
Yes. 2018.
I think 2019.
The 2019 season.
No, he played 2018, bro.
2019 season.
The 2019 season, the year that Toronto won the championship.
He went crazy. That was arguably
like
the best year.
Hey, is it fair to say that's the best version of Blake Griffin?
Are we still talking about Blake Griffin?
The 2018-2019 season is one of, if not his best seasons.
Okay, I thought you were talking about 2019-2020. So
nobody. Okay, geez, I don't know how that happened in this community, but when somebody
said 2019, bro. So
I know, but when we say the year, we're talking about the ending year. Of
the year that the finals was played.
Yeah, that's the year.
I got you.
Okay, so when in that season he was still great, he just didn't play the same. And so what I'm saying is, like, if it could have just been anybody, to the extent of you saying Tyus Jones, I'm then asking, so why didn't Reggie Jackson was throwing lobs to him like that? That's the point I'm making. Because Tyus Jones is a crazy stretch.
Comes in. That wasn't Reggie's job. Reggie's job wasn't to be a good passer or facilitator. Reggie was there to shoot. Of course, he was facilitating at the same time, but at the same time, he wasn't just like Chris Paul. You don't put Chris Paul on the point just to score. I mean, you can do Chris Paul scoring, but at the same time, are you looking for Chris Paul to be the main scorer on your team?
No.
Exactly. Reggie Jackson was in the same way.
He's not a main scorer.
I mean, Reggie Jackson was different. Reggie Jackson was looked to be the scorer on the team.
So you're saying because Tyus Jones is more of a facilitator than a scorer. You're saying
I don't think he's more of a facilitator. Now that I've seen some games now because John Morant is out, he was like
Tyus Jones is more
games. Is this really a conversation?
I don't know. Yeah, what are we? Yeah, let's get.
No, y'all serious? Still at the same time, anybody could.
I don't even know who that is.
Chris Paul does. Chris Paul to be honest, bro. Like anybody, I don't care who you.
No, he plays off the bench for the Memphis.
They can do that. You feel me?
He's actually really solid.
Do you listen to? This is what happens. Y'all listen to Bobby and LeBron too much with this disrespect of Chris Paul. LeBron and Bobby.
I don't.
Ron and Bobby. My bad. I met him as LeBron. My bad.
I don't know.
But y'all listen too much to him.
I've heard too many bad stories. Too many bad stories about Chris Paul. Blake Griffin don't even like Chris Paul no more. Have you ever listened to one of his interviews?
Oh no, I haven't. Elaborate.
A lot of people do not like Chris Paul because he's a dirty just in that. That's why I kind of hold some. Yeah, that's why I kind of have a bias towards him. I'll admit I have a bias towards him. You feel me?
So you just don't like him.
I don't like him because he sucks. Honestly, No. I don't like him because he receives too much praise and hasn't done anything. That's I don't like calling someone the point guard and they ain't did nothing. You know?
Like I said,
in terms of winning,
he's the most overachieving choke artist in NBA history.
I'll be right back. No, I'll be right back.
How is he a choke artist? Are we gonna have this conversation again? How is he a choke artist?
Because how many teams has bro? Like how many all-star teams has he had? And he he's not even like went to the Western Conference Finals. A lot of them times that he had a good team, he ain't went to the finals, and he ain't got it done yet.
Played were just better than him.
Oh my God!
We're talking about before.
Are you talking about with the Hornets or with the Clippers?
The point guard. Any team he's been on, even with the Pelicans.
All right.
I mean, the Hornets.
If you want to look at this, huh?
That was a good team. That was a decent team.
But the Thunder were better than him.
Okay,
Am I wrong?
But he also lost to the Spurs, though. The old ass Spurs.
The Spurs made it to the finals,
and then he beat them too.
And then he beat them as well. So what are we talking about?
But do you let's talk about when he lost to the Warriors and he was on the Rockets. When he was on the Rockets.
If you want to talk about, if you want to,
no, it's not one.
The next year,
let's talk about the time before that.
The next year he was playing at a great level and was close to beating.
He always plays at a great level.
But against the 2019 against the Golden State Warriors, he was significantly worse than what he was. Not because he was battling injuries on top of that, but it is what it is. He did play significantly worse in that series. All I'm saying, throughout the history of him facing the Golden State Warriors, he beat them on the Clippers. And then the other year where they had KD, they were about to beat them again, but then he got hurt. And then he just played bad in 2019. Like, it is what it is. That doesn't define his career, bro.
What year did he go to the Clippers?
Defines his career. Before that, even before
it
that,
does define his career. That's his whole career.
You know what really defines his career? This is what defines his career. He keeps getting hurt. That's what defines his career. But this choke artist, no.
That he got hurt.
That's what defines his career.
Okay, that's like saying
you're gonna blame his whole career on no rings. This is what you're saying. His whole career with no rings is blamed on postseason injury. That's what you're saying.
Yes, 100%.
How long has he played?
What years did he choke? How
long has he played?
In 2014. He choked.
What year was that? What year was 2014?
He choked in
2014 with OKC.
He choked in 2021. He choked in.
He didn't choke in 2021.
No, he did not.
If you think he choked in 2021,
no, he did not.
You don't know what you're talking about.
He tried to hurt Giannis. Remember when Giannis came back overextended? He tried to do some dirty shit. And remember that same year he pulled LeBron's arm out of his socket. Remember that when LeBron was going up for the rebound?
Yeah. If you want to give him hate. If you want to give him,
I'm telling
he's a dirty player. That's fine. I respect that opinion more just because you don't like him because he's a dirty player. But
if he's doing dirty shit, you can't count his injuries because he's injuring people dirtily. You feel me?
All I'm saying, if you want to discredit Chris Paul the way that you're standpointing because he's a dirty player, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with somebody holding him accountable for that.
I can't argue.
But when you're when you're talking about choking and everything like that, I mean, there's not a lot of moments in his career where he's had that.
Like he does everything to get it done, but he doesn't get it done though.
You guys go, oh well, he played 5 games and he scored 25 points and he scored a little bit and his efficiency was good and he scored more than he had in the regular season. So to me, he didn't choke. To me, choke is when you have really stinker moments, stinker games in the series, and that shift the series.
Stinker little last 3 minutes, you feel me, in the fourth quarter.
So Devin Booker getting ripped didn't define that, or Devin Booker getting locked up. That defined that.
Devin Booker plays a part, but Chris Paul does as well. That's what I'm saying.
Who's the leader of that team?
Devin Booker. You see what Devin did? He just blame Devin Booker.
If Chris Paul's getting all the praise that whole year, they're saying Chris Paul was the one that turned the whole team around. If he's getting the praise, he deserves the blame.
Exactly. Wait. But talking about, aren't you guys the same people? Aren't you guys the same people that acknowledges LeBron James and whenever his team loses, you point the finger
LeBron
at
James is my favorite player. He deserves all the blame. All the blame
he
that
deserves all the blame that he gets.
He wears it.
I don't believe. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't agree with that.
He has no choice but to wear it.
If you're gonna sit here and crucify guys, crucify them for how they performed and what they did, and what they did about the game. And and then you look in the key factors on why they lost. A lot of the key factors on why the CP3 lost in his career, him or his co-star was getting hurt. There's a few times, like everybody in NBA history, there's a few times in their career where they underperform. They don't play to themselves. Chris Paul has it as well. He's not absolved of that. But if you're going to try to hold him accountable for 2021, when the man is outperforming what he's done. That's probably one
How
of
long
the
has
best,
he been in the league though?
That's one of the best series he's ever had in his career.
About
How long has he been in the league though?
Game shit, game
About-
four.
what
That doesn't make sense to me. I feel like his best series was probably.
Was it
Man,
like 18 years now?
I will never understand that. A guy who's had one of his best series in his career somehow choked. I don't get that.
He had a terrible game 4, Doug. The
So
same
you're gonna
way
base it off of
like to
one
bring
game?
up game 3 of that other season. I can't remember what it was.
Wait,
I think you were talking about Russell Westbrook in the
wait.
finals.
So
The
just
same-
because
he came up clutch against the Clippers. He came up clutch. I'll give him that. He came up clutch. I thought he was about to get it done just because of that.
Okay, no, that's fine. Let's see. What player
I
could
remember
we
that,
use?
yeah.
What
He
player
came
could,
up
what player
super
could we use? So Jimmy Butler.
LeBron.
No.
Use
Jimmy
LeBron.
Butler. Jimmy Butler in 2020. Did he fold just because he had a terrible game? I think game 1 or game 2.
Wait,
I think Jimmy Butler was like
Jimmy Butler never had those
fired
expectations.
inside of that whole finals. I'm not gonna lie, he battled every single game leading up to that finals. And I
And
feel
who
like
is
he's just
in
too
it?
tired
You're
to-
not putting Jimmy Butler as the top. Like, what is Jimmy Butler? A shooting
No,
guard?
but it's not about. It's
You're
not
not putting
it's
him
not.
in
It's
the
not.
category.
Time out. It's not about that. We're what I'm trying to explain to you guys.
I'm talking about
is
the
that
head
you
of
guys-
the snake.
You guys,
Point guard.
what Junebug is doing right now is just picking one game out of all the games he did where he performed well. He's picking one game out of that whole entire series, disregarding everything else he's done.
Absolutely.
Dub,
and
it's
saying that
other
he choked.
moments in the series though.
No, wait,
Okay,
no,
so then
no,
we're
no,
not
no,
just
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
Jimmy,
no, no,
so
no,
then
no,
Jimmy
stop, stop,
Butler,
stop, stop,
because he folded in game 2, you should hold him to the same standard, correct?
Okay, stop.
This is the thing though.
No,
This
no,
is the thing
wait,
though,
wait.
Dub. It's not just game
Jimmy
4.
Butler's not even like in the
Chris
conversation
Paul,
though.
this is
right now.
It's
Seems
using
like-
an analogy so you guys can
No.
understand.
That analogy doesn't matter because you're not.
No,
talking
it doesn't
about-
matter because you don't want it to matter. Just say that.
Jimmy Butler
Because
is-
analogies are not exactly the same. They're
No,
used
wait,
to exude a point, to explain a point. But you don't want to hear the point because you're too busy hating on Chris
He's
Paul.
the point
That's all
guard,
it is.
Dub.
No,
That's
wait,
the
no,
point
no,
guy.
because what's happening is you're belittling Chris Paul's career to select games and select moments. If that's how you look at Chris Paul,
How long has he been in the league?
18 years.
And he hasn't
18
got it
years.
done.
My bad.
And he has
Lon.
not got it done in 18
Context.
years.
Ignoring the context.
Okay, but what I'm saying
And
is,
the only years he has not had an all-star team was when what year did he get traded to the Clippers?
What years was that All-Star team healthy?
So what year did he get traded to the Clippers?
2014.
He don't want to answer that. What year
2014.
were they healthy?
2014.
In 2014, absolutely. What are the other years?
Okay, so
2015,
okay, so-
he did have a hamstring injury, but he still was in
healthy.
there playing
He
though.
wasn't healthy then.
He was still playing,
But he
though.
wasn't healthy.
But he wasn't healthy, bro.
At some point though, health has to affect your availability.
I
That has to
agree.
affect
I
your-
agree.
your
I agree.
overall.
How many people
overall.
have played through
But that's-
injury?
Oh, listen, that's why
I
I
agree with
understand your opinion 100%
I
way
agree with
more.
you.
Especially when you're
I
doing
agree
dirty
with
shit, trying to
And I
trying to
get your
hurt other
point,
players.
and I get your point with that.
I agree with
But
that. If you want to
Junebug
knock
is
him
over
because of
here.
availability, I have no problem with that at all.
Y'all have to talk about gameplay though, bro. You can't just give me he was hurt.
I
But he
keep
was still
talking to you
playing.
about gameplay. You're ignoring it.
He said there was another moment in that finals. Okay, what was the other moment in that finals where he underperformed, or which game, what other game did he underperform in that finals?
What finals?
Outside of game 4.
Outside of game 4, out in 2021, what game? Because you referenced like
I'm pretty sure it was either game 6 or game 5 where they could have easily had the game taken, and he had a terrible turnover at the crucial time. That just changed the whole game.
No. That's the I want to be clear. That's the same game 4 that we're talking about. That all happened.
No. I don't think that was game 4.
That was game
I'm pretty sure that was the game after.
I thought that was another game too.
No, I remember that was a game in
Wait,
Milwaukee.
what turnover was it? What turnover was it?
It was like with like 30 seconds left.
No.
No. It was good time on the clock. I'm pretty sure it's getting close to the end of the fourth. It's 5 or 6 minutes left. He's trying to either pass it to Chris Paul.
It was stolen by Drew Holiday.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it happened in game 4.
That was game 4.
Yes, it was.
That's my fault. That's on me.
So
That was a pivotal moment, though. That was a pivotal moment, though.
Outside of game 4, which is a crucial moment, without a doubt. Outside of game 4, though, what other game did he perform poorly in?
I can't say off the top of my head because I really
didn't. Though. That's the problem because he didn't.
No, but at the same time, game 4 matters. The game.
No, I without a doubt, game 4 matters.
We can't just say overall just because he had an overall good game. We can't say well, it was a good series. He did good. He didn't win.
So you're doing the same shit that the old heads do.
Basically,
that's what I'm hearing.
And what's worse, what young people do it is that you watch it and you still acting stupid. See, when the old people do it, there's not enough games being played. So I understand they're acting out of ignorance.
I watched the Chris Paul series.
So tell me the other game that he didn't do well in.
No one said he didn't underperform. No one said that he was trash the whole entire series.
You said he choked.
I said he didn't get it done. He choked, yes.
Because he faced a better team.
Oh yeah. So last time I was up here, and we was talking about this. Love was talking about how in a certain culture, it's like, oh, if you don't get it done, you got to depend on other people. It's like a stigma. You feel me? But when it comes to you paying your rent, you there's no excuses to not getting it done, right?
Oh, I get that. But when it comes to outside factors, like beyond,
there's always outside factors. Let's say you gotta go to work. Let's say your car don't work. Let's say your car don't start.
But what you're saying is
there's always outside factors.
But no, what you're saying right now is very disingenuous.
What about 2017?
That's very disingenuous.
Why do people not understand
they have like a broken hand
in context? Like, why do people keep calling context excuses?
See, look, I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan, so I accept all the hate LeBron gets.
All right,
2018
LeBron, he got swept by the Warriors. Do you hold that against him, or do you
hold it against I accept that shit.
Hold on. Here's the other problem that happens in the NBA community where, like, just because other people make stupid arguments doesn't mean that we have to just accept it. Because I think somebody who comes up and they're critical of LeBron in like 2015, I think that they're stupid. I think those people are stupid. And I don't think that any of us who speak basketball intelligently should have to accept their stupidity. I think those people are stupid. Just because they lost, that is a stupid argument. I don't have to accept it. And then I'm not going to turn around and then criticize other people because of a stupid argument that somebody else made.
I don't know.
Just because they stupid, that don't mean I got to be stupid.
Wait, for the LeBron fan, do you hold 2015 against LeBron, or do you actually put the context for LeBron?
Me personally, I don't. But when other people do shit, the bottom line, he didn't get it done.
He
didn't get it done. So I can't argue it. No. Look, I'm saying when people hold that against him, I can't argue it because he didn't get it done. Period.
I think the overall fact we ignoring it that Chris Paul has had millions of times to get it done and he hasn't. So I just can't.
18 years. I keep asking you what's the other time. I keep asking you.
Okay, he had 2014,
and I agree with you. But you said millions. You said millions.
Okay, he had last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Last year
against Dallas.
So you're gonna hold a.
I don't know about that.
What did Luka do? In the words of Ticket, what did Luka do? He hopped him down.
This is the thing with you, Chris Paul fans, right? When it gets down to the recent years, it's all about. He's not the same guy he used to be. But I guarantee you, if Chris Paul won that chip last year, nobody would be discussing his prime. Nobody would be discussing
the same way we don't discuss the same way we talk about Gary Payton, even though he won a championship in Miami, will be the same way we talk about Chris Paul if he won a chip last year.
That's different though.
It's not different.
Junebug, I don't think you watched the show. I don't think you were watching the show last season. I said, and people called me crazy for it. I said, Chris Paul was not the same guy. I said, this is not the same CP3. He was not the same version of himself throughout the regular season. I said, fuck them winning 65 games. I don't care. Chris Paul was not the same guy. So if I understand that Chris Paul is not the same guy, he's not the same version of himself, why should I hold him to the same standard when I know that? I don't hold Jason Kidd to the same standard when he won in 2011. No, I rank Jason Kidd on what he did in his prime prior to that. That ring that he won in 2011, it's an add-on. Cool, but that doesn't move him up the needle. Move the needle for me. It don't.
Let me go next. Junebug, tell me the years in Chris Paul's prime, outside of 2014, that he had a legitimate shot to win the title and he choked. Tell me.
How many times was he hurt?
I'm asking Junebug.
Between him and just him, or him and Blake Griffin?
Him personally.
I think it's probably 3 years.
That's what.
And how long was his prime?
He was
We always find ourselves. We always find ourselves talking about this again.
How long was his prime?
How long was his prime? I would argue probably.
I'd say his last
two,
Thunder year.
2008 to like 2018, probably.
I say his last year in OKC.
In 2008 though to 2014, he wasn't even on a team that was like viable to win a championship, right?
No, I think those Clippers teams were viable to win a championship.
But the Hornets weren't though.
I don't think the Hornets were. No.
Nah, not the Hornets.
Okay. So he got traded in 2014, right?
2011 when he got traded.
2011. Okay. Yeah. And how many times? So 3 years from that point. You said what was the last year of his prime?
2018.
I think that after that hamstring in 2018, I don't think he's ever been the same player.
But that's 7 years.
My humble opinion. Yeah.
2018.
After that hamstring, he pulled his hamstring, and I don't think he's ever been the same player. I think he's
I think that was the end. I think that was the end. I think that was the end of his peak. But I think his prime lasted till 2020.
Yeah, I don't think he had.
He had a down year in 2021, and then OKC, and then last season.
Yeah. Would it be crazy for me to say that OKC was the last year of his prime?
That's y'all. But I don't. If you consider 2020 OKC comparable to what he was doing with the Clippers, or even in Houston, his first year in Houston, I think that's a gross misrepresentation.
So I got a question: Is LeBron is in his prime right now? Is he in his prime right now?
I would not say that. No, I know some people like Ron.
Okay, now, if LeBron James was to win a ring, that wouldn't move the needle for y'all. Y'all would just be like, okay, he's just the same player.
It depends on how he performed.
How he performed?
Yeah, if he was immensely great, if he was one leading that team, because I would, in my opinion, if they win, I would assume that probably Anthony Davis would probably be the best player in that team.
So last year, Chris Paul, even though is another player that's the best player on the team, y'all wouldn't say that Chris Paul didn't perform well last year, so that's why he wouldn't be considered.
I think, to be fair to your point, I think Chris Paul played worse than even what I was expecting, but an overall point of his career, like I wasn't expecting him to play that well in the first place because he was older. And if you would watch him throughout the regular season, you knew he was not getting no rim pressure. He wasn't getting by nobody. He was overly dependent on mid-range shooting.
That's always been Chris Paul, though.
He's always better. Who's better?
Chris Paul is right there.
Chris Paul and Rondo.
I'm making that. No, Chris Paul, stop. And that's the point right there. And that right there is the point I'm making. To say that that's always been Chris Paul. To say Chris Paul has never been able to get to the basket. To say that
he's been able to get to the basket, but he's always depended on mid range. When has been
that right there is why, and that's where we get this misrepresentation of who players are.
I've seen Chris Paul play.
Has not been.
I know that.
To say that Chris Paul was dependent on a mid range shot,
he was.
That's incorrect.
When has Chris Paul? Tell me the year that Chris Paul's been deadly from three or deadly from inside of the paint, and you've been like, okay, we gotta watch Chris Paul. Besides,
he's deadly.
Oh, you're tweaking.
See, that's the thing.
What?
That's the thing. He's been deadly this whole time, but he just never.
Junebug. I'm gonna use an analogy for you, and I use this point in its turn. Do you know football? Do you understand?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, all right. Do you know how crucial a running game is, and how important it is to keep defenses honest, especially in the red zone?
Right.
All right. So the Bucks last season, they didn't rely on their run game like that, but they had a run game with Leonard Fournette and their offensive line. So that when they did get in the red zone, there were opportunities where, you know what, Leonard Fournette, you could go ahead, get the ball in the red zone. We could sit here and make defenses honest. Even though we passed the ball more, we still were able to be a dual threat and make them honest. Chris Paul, you could be a player and use a mid-range shot a lot, but he still had the ability to make people honest. You got to respect the drive. You got to respect him going at the rim. You got to respect the three-point line. So you could use something more and still be multi-versatile.
Okay,
you remember when Perfect
that he was versatile. I definitely feel like he could shoot the three good. He could shoot the mid-range good, and he can close. He can definitely finish in the paint. He's not a bad finisher at all. But what I'm saying, when you see Chris Paul, are you really thinking like, okay, yeah, you got to guard him at the three, but when you look at the entire Suns, if you're going to leave a person open on the 3-ball line, you're going to leave Chris Paul open.
And he was making it.
But you're saying the Sun. When I said specifically about how you say he was dependent on his mid-range shot, bro. Back when in New Orleans, he was not dependent on his mid-range shot at all. Majority of his shots, I'm actually looking at right now. Most of his shots in 2008 and in 2009.
I'm not counting New Orleans at all.
Well, no, I said all the way back to 08, and he said no. Bro, most of his shots
them teams
08,
weren't like projected to win at all.
And that's
so
fair, but
I'll never count that against him.
In 08 and 09, most of his shots came from 0 to 3 feet, and within 0 to 3 feet, he was shooting over 60%. So when he's sitting here saying that he was always dependent.
Still, he averaged 2-3 threes a game, bro. He averaged 2 threes a game, bro. I mean, low. He still averaged 2.
Yeah, but you said, but that's what even if right. But to say that he was dependent on his mid range shot back then, when most of his shots came in the paint, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that's fair. Junebug, I want an answer. Go ahead. In
Chris
Paul's prime, tell me the instances that made him a choker outside of 2014.
Well, there's a few. I want to say there's not. There's
2014 is without
2014 to 2023.
2015.
No. Wait. Junebug, answer.
2015. Even though y'all keep talking about that injury, I feel like if you're going to blame injury, just don't play. If y'all want to blame injury, just don't go play. Like don't
wait. Hey,
so 2014
was Harden healthy in Game 7 against the Bucks? Was Harden healthy in that Game 7? Do you hold that Game 7 performance that Harden had against the Bucks against them?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember that game. What year?
No. He said
Harden's not even in the.
No. But he's asking him against the
Harden
Bucks
is a choke artist.
No. In 2021, when Harden wasn't healthy, do you hold that against Harden when they lost to the Bucks? You hold that against him?
Harden is a choke artist. That's right down. That's right down Chris Paul's lane.
No. But he's talking about in the series where Harden wasn't healthy in Game 7 when Harden was not healthy. Do you hold that against Harden because he was not healthy?
That's a great question, actually.
Is he gonna answer?
Hold on, what year are you talking about? You said against the Bucks.
In 2021 against the Bucks, where KD was going crazy, right?
Dead.
Do you all hold that against KD and Harden because Harden and Kyrie were hurt in that series? You hold that against
Harden is not even in the conversation.
Harden not answering my question.
Okay, look, check this. Yes, I hold it against him.
Yes,
I hold it against him. Harden is the ultimate choke artist.
And so do you hold it against? But do you also hold it against KD though? Do you hold it against KD?
Yep. I sure do.
Okay. As long as he stays consistent with that, that's fine. So
no, that's not fine. No, I don't care.
It's not fine.
No, it's not fine. I don't care if they're consistent with it. That is not the correct way to analyze games. It's not. No. Screw the consistency. I don't care.
It doesn't matter if you're hurt or not. Why? Oh my God.
It doesn't matter if you're hurt or not.
If you're going to use injury, if you're going to use
playing with a pulled hamstring, what do you expect him to do?
Why
Harden's playing with a pulled hamstring? What do you expect?
Okay, so if y'all are making all these excuses for why these players couldn't get it done, hold on, stop.
Go.
If y'all are making all these excuses for why these players couldn't get it done because they were hurt or their team was hurt, why do y'all give so much praise to Giannis when the time he won the championship, there was like 75% of all the stars of in the NBA was hurt? Why do y'all give him so much praise?
I don't. Go ahead, Mars. Go ahead.
I think this is the wrong panel to ask that question to. Like to the masses, cool. That's a very valid question. To this panel, I don't think that. I don't
because you know
that's something to go to Tiki against the world type shit.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, and then even follow up. I specifically, I hate when like older heads be like, "Oh, Isaiah Thomas, the only player who beat Bird, Magic, and MJ." Bro, if you go back and you watch when he was beating them. Magic had a twisted ankle. He didn't not twist ankle. He had something else. Magic was hurt, and Bird
he was smacking Jordan though. He was smacking Jordan.
He was beating Jordan, but when it came to Magic and Bird in that postseason run, they were both.
I mean, that was already done for pretty much.
But they were done for because they were hurt. Because they were hurt.
Just like when Jordan beat him, they were done for.
Yeah, but it's not excuses.
Isaiah Thomas, they was done for.
They weren't done for.
Yeah,
I can't say when Dennis Rodman, when DPOY, and Joe Dumars wins All NBA and All Defensive teams, and Jordan Dumars.
Isaiah Thomas wasn't he hurt though?
He had
the snake.
It was something wrong with his wrist,
his ankle.
But he came back and he was great all.
His ankle was in '88. His ankle was in '88. And they lost that. They lost that series in '88.
Before you let me go, I want to ask you
the same thing with Magic in '88. It's like, bro, Isaiah Thomas wasn't healthy.
Yeah. What's the question, P5? Go ahead.
All right. It's kind of the same thing I asked y'all. You know, I'm a Raptor fan. I want to ask Lo his opinion on this. Do you think Kyle Lowry and DeRozan will be Hall of Famers?
That's a great question.
You don't know.
Not DeRozan. Oh man, that's another playoff choker. That's a real
Maybe in
playoff choker right
Toronto.
there. Now DeMar DeRozan, that's a real playoff choker right there, boy.
Damn. So
Oh my God, Chris Paul.
What about Lowry? What about Lowry?
I don't think neither one. In all seriousness, I don't think neither one of them have like a resume that's good enough to make the playoffs. I mean, make the Hall of Fame.
That's tough. That's tough.
Well, I gotta wait. Let me tell you. I gotta look at what Lowry did overseas. Maybe.
Hey, but Reggie Miller did though. I mean, apparently Reggie Miller 3 All-NBA selections is good enough. But
can I ask one question too?
What's that?
Why does Luka get so much love, but Jokic get so much hate?
I don't understand that either.
From who?
Not from
No,
me.
no. Hey, no. Remember, you supposed to be a Nuggets. You feel me? I put the Lakers too because I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan.
So why does Luka get so much love?
Hey, when you ready to hop the train, dog, I got a spot for you.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I think Jokic plays basketball in a way that a lot of people are not familiar with. And it's the same reason why like Curry got a lot of hate too, because he was playing basketball people are not familiar with. People are more familiar with like a ball handler and like he's handling the ball, he's initiating the offense. Like people are familiar with that, but like a center making assists and stuff like that, they're not familiar with it, so they don't think they can win. Because like before I hopped on the panel, I can't remember who it was. They were like, I don't know if a center can ever like lead his team to a championship as the main facilitator. I'm like, but we've never seen it before. Like we won't know until it actually happens, right? And so I think people are not. They're not.
No, you're overthinking this. You're overthinking this. It's easy as hell.
Why? Because of MVPs?
No, just Luka. It just looks better.
Oh well, and also it just looks better.
I do think.
Low, people don't like that you compared Jokic's peak to Kobe's. I don't think people like that either.
But people didn't like him before that though.
Yeah, they didn't like him before.
I do think what Low said is right. I think it comes from when someone is doing something new. People don't like it. Like there's a saying, it's like the difference between insanity and success. The insanity and genius is success and failure. So, for example, if Jokic succeeds doing this, all of a sudden he's going to get all the love, and everyone's going to want their bigs to be playmaking, and it's all this. He's so transcendental. And until that moment, people think this isn't going to work. He's a playmaking big. He doesn't play enough defense. That's where the saying comes from. It's like the same thing with Steph Curry. You can't win as a jump shooting team or as a predominant jump shooter. And then he won, and all of a sudden the whole league is shooting. So that's all it comes from, the fact that he hasn't won and he's playing a different brand of basketball.
I don't remember
for the whole panel.
Hold up, P5, because I don't remember like living through it in 2015. Like I think once Steve Kerr got there, bro, everybody was big on the Warriors. You don't? Are you sure?
No, they were saying they weren't going to win, and then they won, and they said it was all because of injuries, and they weren't going to repeat. And then they started the next season 24-0, and everyone shut up.
And that's when everybody started shutting up. Yeah,
that's what happened.
But in 2015,
the next year is when Curry won unanimous, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about him. They were talking about him winning most improved.
I need to be where you guys are at, because over where I was at, Jesus Christ.
That's what I thought too.
In 2015, people thought
I see so much Steph Curry lovers, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro.
In 2015. Before the season started, or by the end of it?
I was in high school, bro, so I don't remember the exact time. I just remember
it got to be more so towards
love.
the end of it, because in 2015, Curry was not. In the beginning of 2015, excuse me.
I've been surrounded by LeBron haters, so I think you feel me. Like,
all right, one more thing. I've been wondering this. Why do you think some? I don't want to say old heads, but like some people hold the older players to such a high standard that these current players can never be better than the old players.
They didn't watch
no
them.
matter. Huh?
They're going off of folk tales. They didn't watch them. That's why.
Oh, so that's why people are saying like, oh, Jokic can never be better than like Ewing.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
They're going off folk tales. Yeah.
I mean, because you got the games, like for example, the last 4 games Denver have played, they haven't looked good defensively for. I'm not gonna say for whatever reason. We know the reason, but like we can all see that. Everyone can see what's going on. And the games are easy to access, and the highlights are everywhere. Like no one's gonna you ask anyone, any old head about a random 5-game stretch in 1985 for Larry Bird, they're not going to know.
Well,
Like,
then why do they lie? I don't understand that. Like, why?
They
why
don't
lie?
lie. They believe in what they seen. They believe what happened in their own time. They just have a so much dedication to what they believe is the truth. It is what it is. People live their own truth, bros, and they're going to defend their truth. When you try to challenge that truth, when they try to challenge that truth, they're going to fight back.
That's
not lying. They're just trying to defend their own truth.
No, it is lying. How many national televised games do you think there were in 90?
Oh, chill. You talking about
in 93, though? How many?
For what?
No. The entire league, though. How many do you think it was?
In 90 what?
I have to assume at least like 25.
Nationally televised games
between TNT, non-playoffs. Between TNT and ABC and the All-Star. Let's count All-Star game out as well. Between TNT and NBC, how many national televised games you think there were from start to finish?
And this is the whole league. The whole league. All right, bro.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out. It wasn't even 100. It wasn't even 100. So
it wasn't even 100.
It wasn't even 100. No.
That's OD actually.
It wasn't even 100. So guess how many?
60?
What? 85?
It wasn't even 85.
60?
70.
50?
It was 70. It was 74.
That's tough.
Damn, that was close. That's less than one game a day. That's crazy.
No. It's it was a game. Oh, it was only 4 Utah games.
Oh, so he watched all 4.
And he could have. But most of the Utah games were against Chicago, New York, and LA.
I assume they didn't win.
That's good. That's good, bro. But come on, bro. Y'all be easy.
Yeah.
Look, appreciate y'all. I gotta get some other guys up here. Y'all be safe, man. Peace.
Mars. They would play on like November 6th. Another basketball game would not come on until November 10th. Then another one would come on until the 13th, 17th, 20th, and 24th. They used to have 5 to 7 ball games a month. We have that per day.
I don't know why y'all are surprised by the old head narrative of, appreciating their players more than current players. This goes through all aspects of entertainment and sports. Baseball players, they're going to appreciate those guys, Wade Boggs and, he was a grinder and this and that. And they live off that. It goes in entertainment. Tupac, no rapper is ever going to be better than Tupac to those who grew up in that era. You can talk about Lil Wayne. You can talk about whoever guys they are. Tupac is their guy, and nobody's going to be better. And that goes through all walks of entertainment and sports and those type of things. Rock and roll, no era is going to live up to the 80s and the big hair, whatever, Poison and these bands, whatever it is. Those guys, that's what they have, the nostalgia of it. They have the what they were doing at the time, and probably those were the greatest times of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Before they had kids, before they had all that type of stuff. So that all applies.
I feel you on that point, Tyson. Hold up, bro. I feel you on that point, but at least through my own little experiences, I've seen more and more young people go back and look at the 90s. This was fire. This is one of the greatest to do it. Tupac, Biggie, DMX, all those boys coming up, 50 Cent. This is one of the go-to generation. Even young guys in my era is like the music right now ain't even what it was in the 2010s or the 2000s.
You think so?
There's a level of I've seen a lot of people my age love the older music. There's a level of objectivity, and that's the issue that I have with older heads, where they don't. You actually experience show an example of having good level of objectivity, where you show a good level of objectivity, don't get in your feelings, and you try to understand it from a good lens. Not a lot of people do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that totally. Those guys, like I said, it's nostalgia. Is Kobe was this, Jordan was that, all those great. Stockton was this, Stockton was that, and like Lo said, they didn't even watch it. So when they go to those finals and whatever, they just basing it off of that. And some people have a more extensive background in it and can give more objectivity why these people are great. I'm not applying it to everybody, but I'm just saying, for the most part, it's the nostalgia of it, and that's the greatest era of their time. So that's what they're going to identify with.
But when does nostalgia and delusion play into a case? Because I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say delusion, but I hear these old heads like Ticket talk about, they knew how to target you to make sure you missed your shot, and they knew how to foul you just right to make sure that you missed that 3-pointer or whatever. But at that point, aren't you just operating off tall tales and fairy tales, and you're not really actually showing okay, this is the facts of the era? And furthermore, I think it's delusion to the sense that if I'm a fan of something, isn't it kind of hypocritical of me to be a fan of something and see that it's progressing and see that these people are getting better, and then to hate on that rather than say, the game I love these players are getting better, so there's going to be new legacies, and the entertainment is going to continue. Like, for instance, when people are saying, oh, Michael Jordan going to average 40 in this league, no the hell he's not, nigga. Gobert going to block that nigga just like he blocked everyone else.
Please watch the language, please.
Oh, my bad.
No problem.
But Gobert gonna block him just like you do everyone else, bro. There's people just as athletic as him, just like there was people athletic back in that time. Like, a lot of this stuff that they talk about is a lot of fairy tales, a lot of tall tales. Like, someone was just talking about how, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger saw Wilt Chamberlain bench 300 pounds. All right, bro. Like, if you can show me the footage of that, bro, I'll believe it. No cap.
Well, I think you've been a little disrespectful to a certain extent, because Wilt was one of the greatest athletes of that era for sure.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, yeah. So when you say that, Wilt was that. He was a track athlete. He was a modern day, anomaly. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, he was that guy. But so he was that. So you got to put some respect on his name too. You got to put some respect on Jordan's name, even though he did what he did. So that's what I'm saying. You got to put those guys in the air and say he did what he did. No, Jordan wouldn't average 40 today. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. It's a lot of guys that have a high scoring profile as Jordan, if not more of a scoring profile than Jordan. But you got to give credit for what he did in his era.
I think
Jordan would still lead the league in scoring. Jordan would still lead the league in scoring today. I don't think it would be a problem. And I think you have to also, I know a lot of times we do this, like, these game translations, but we also have to count that if Jordan grew up in this era, he probably would have had a 3-point shot earlier in his career. Like, people,
right?
They would have grew up in the AAU circuit, played differently. So it's always, I always think it's like humans. I always think it's like kind of like human psychology, like an emotional connection to the era, whichever you grew up in. You see guys like Mad Dog talk about Pistol Pete Maravich. Yeah, he's gonna think he's a god of basketball because he grew up in that.
That's another liar.
Era.
He's a liar.
That's
100%.
He's a liar. He
does nothing but lie.
But I think it's just kind of like this emotional connection to players you have.
100%.
It's gonna give you a bias, and especially guys like who I think 2 players in 2000 who I love. But every time I speak to someone who's a really big Allen Iverson or Kobe fan, when you use obviously advanced metrics aren't their best friends, and we've seen that. But obviously for those 2 players, it's also an eye test thing. But it seems like with Kobe and Allen Iverson, like, people really loved them like beyond basketball. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a completely different situation.
That's what I'm saying. But when you care about an individual or really love him beyond the game, you start to see them in a different light, right? So it's with Kobe. Like, some people have him as high as number 3, 4 overall, and in most lists, to me personally, I think it's between 8 and 12. But I just think it's interesting how, like, kind of the emotions versus, today. Or someone like
that's because Iverson didn't just bring basketball to the game. Iverson brought the culture. He brought fashion to the game. So his people's infatuation with him goes beyond basketball, because that's who they tried to imitate, who they tried to emulate. So it wasn't just playing the game like him. It was, I'm trying to dress like him, walk like him, talk like him. That goes beyond basketball. And when you wrap it all in one, yes, that in your mind will make that person bigger within the game than they really are.
100%. We just have to separate the two, right? Them off the basketball versus just strictly on the court.
The one thing I agree with Gerald on earlier is another thing, like when they talk about Kobe and Jordan and those players, you look at the advanced stats, they're not gonna, favor them 100%. But when you also was a lot of guys don't in the new age.
They favor MJ.
I gotta that's another thing. They actually do favor them. That's the problem. Is that
that's what they were saying. But I'm just saying you don't account for their will. Like that to me, that's why a lot of players run to Kobe and run to Jordan, because their will is something that's important. And you guys poo-poo that like, oh, it's because they had the best team. The best team doesn't always win. It's also a little bit of that will that is, making winning plays at the end of the game and those type of things, those wills that say, yes, I'm better than you and my team is not going to lose this game. I think that accounts for some too. I know you guys don't like to, because it's hard to quantify. I know you guys don't like to speak on that, but I think that's the reason why a lot of the older players, gravitate towards those guys as the best players ever.
Tyson, I agree with you, but don't tell me that you at 6 years old had the ability to quantify will. Because you did.
No, I'm not saying it. But I'm not looking at it through that lens. He said that earlier before you got on.
Without a doubt. And the only problem with me is that it's not even like them winning, going off of. I don't even call it delusion. I just think it's straight up lying.
Okay.
How are you reminiscing off?
That
of
was
something
nasty though, Lo.
No.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
That was nasty, bro.
How are you reminiscing on something that you didn't even watch? How? Like it's not that many games. It's only playoff games that were on a national televised games. That's it. So
I don't disagree with you.
So if you are telling me that it's reminiscing, all for it. But you at least gotta watch it to reminisce off of it. So don't come up here lying about regular season's games that you couldn't watch because it wasn't available to you. Don't lie to me.
People are
right. No, you definitely, we're definitely on an even playing field when we're going. You young guys, you know, I'm 40, so I've seen a lot of those games, but I was very young. So we're on an even playing field.
Tyson, let's be honest with ourselves. You're the same age of that gentleman as well.
Okay.
At 7 years old, how many national televised NBA games were they available, or do you remember at 7?
I don't remember at all. I remember watching basketball with my dad and my brother. He was a big Bulls fan. I was a Suns fan, and I remember, you know, watching those games. Can I break down and analyze the game and tell you why Jordan was so dominant and why at that age? Of course not. I have to go back and rewatch. That's why I'm saying we're on an even playing field when it comes back to rewatching those games and analyzing them from an astute level. So, yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Okay,
I can tell you, because just like him, I turned 40 this year. At 7 years old, I don't remember too many games being nationally televised. It was a couple of games here and there, but there weren't too many games. And as far as breaking the game down, I could break the game down to a degree, but that's only because I had family members that coached. Me breaking the game down on my own, just going grabbing film, no, not at 7 years old. One, that's not something you're concerned with at 7.
100%.
You're
not even worried about it at 7.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
And that's it. And as long as we can agree to that, that's fine. I just don't the more and more I dig deeper into it, like I'm even looking right now, like in 2001, they were only right at 100 national televised games. In 2001, like roughly around 100.
Really? That's surprising.
So when we sit in NBA TV didn't exist until I believe like 2003, like when you can go online and DVR it and like save it. That didn't exist until 2003. So when people be sitting here saying, because in 2000, 2001, and when the Lakers going on, and that's when I was like 7. Bro, I would be dead ass lying to you if I never did the due diligence to go back and rewatch it, bro. Even when I was in high school and I was watching Kobe and LeBron and the Boston Celtics, and more games are more available to me, bro. I'm in the East Coast. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I was staying up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every night to watch Kobe and Laker games during the regular season. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that.
Oh, so you're not Mars?
Oh no, I had to. Well, Mars is different because
Mars is wild.
Mars might be a little bit different because I had to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning the next day to go to school. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I stood up until 1 o'clock Eastern time, went to sleep, and then woke back up 5-6 hours later so I can go to school. And even the times that I did do that, because there were times I did do that, I ain't gonna hold you. Even where there's times where I did do that, but that was over a decade ago, dog. I'm not gonna have the clear understanding of what happened. Even when I was older, it's crazy. But y'all can say what I want to talk about.
Mars, care to comment, Mars? Do you do that? Yes or no?
What? Stay up till 6 a.m. to watch these West Coast games? Yes.
Mars a vampire, bro. Mars on some other shit.
I don't know why you do that, because you can just wait. You can wait till tomorrow and we watch them on League Pass.
Oh, do you sleep all day, Mars?
There's like 4 clones of me, so I just have each of them sleep at different intervals. And then
okay, I got you.
That's right.
Intervals is crazy.
I want to bring up briefly, unless you're going to say something. I'll bring up with like rings. Or do you have super chat or something?
I got mad super chats to get off. Let me read that off real quick, bro. Low versus Stockton is equal to Stephen A Vs Kyrie versus Kyrie. Facts. I'm not gonna lie, Low. I told Mars this before. I will never understand how you get very emotional when you talk about John Stockton.
Yeah, man, he be dragging John Stockton, bro. I don't know why.
It's just the lies. It's the lies.
Dragging that dude, bro.
Feels the gap.
You sensitive, Low. You sensitive as hell. You don't like being lied to. That's crazy. But no, I can't. Nope. Not gonna.
Bro.
Never mind.
I'm a low on this one. The gap between the myth of Stockton versus what he actually was is so great. It's one of the greatest disparities I think about.
Yes.
I feel you.
Wait till you hear about the Wilt Chamberlain guy.
That gap is getting wider and wider every time I rewatch him. I'm like, yeah, all right. You couldn't bully ball a Willis Reed on one leg. You might not be in it, dog. You might.
Tell y'all gotta start watching '70s game, bro. Kareem is not it, bro.
And also, I think he was afraid to bully him because I think they knew they were going to foul him. And back then, because they were just going to the free throw line after every foul, I think he was afraid to go to the free throw line. Deadass.
So real quick, if we add in context to how trash those Utah teams were, if Stockton is their second best player and he
wasn't trash,
not good, what are we doing with these rings?
I don't think the team was trash. I don't think the team was trash.
They have
was Stockton their second best player?
Mark Eaton was there in the early 90s.
Are you talking about Michael's rings?
I'm just saying, like they big up like, oh, this 60-win team, and that was my point the whole time. Like that team was not that good to me. It was a good team, but it was not that good. When you're talking about Jordan and Pippen going against Stockton and Hornacek and these guys, it's not even close.
They were.
I give MJ way more credit in '98 than '97.
Okay.
Because in '98, Pippen was just not it.
I agree with that. I'm just saying that time though, like that was not a fair fight, bro. That to me.
In '98, I think I got a little bit closer to be fair, especially
but John Stockton forgot to play basketball in '98, so
he did.
I know what he's talking about. It's basically
I see what he's saying though.
It's like the Utah Jazz being like a number 1 seed for when they was with D. Mitch and Rudy. It's like you didn't believe in them to win.
Right.
I think that speaks more volumes on Stockton and Malone, but we can continue.
I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
Best All NBA first team ever. I got 89 or 2011. I don't think. I want you guys to understand something. Idea. I don't think about this like every day. Like I'm not sitting here thinking the best All NBA teams in NBA.
I don't even know if he makes All NBA first team, but
just lie to them, Dub, the way that they do.
I'm not lying. I don't want to lie, bro. I'm not lying.
Just based on the talent in the NBA, the 2003 All NBA first team sounds like it'd be pretty good.
I'm probably gonna say like 2006 was really moving me. No, 2003 is crazy. 2003 is Shaq, Duncan, Garnett, Kobe, and T-Mac.
I win.
That's tough.
I know, Bull.
What is crazy?
89 is.
Is that Hakeem in there? And
89 is Magic, Michael, Barkley, Malone, and Hakeem.
That's nasty too.
Malone is a bit of a fall off.
I'm sorry, that's not moving me.
Yeah, wasn't 88 better than 89? Wasn't 88 Magic, Jordan, Bird, Barkley, Hakeem?
How the fuck do you know that? I'm sorry. Excuse my language.
At that time, though, Bird and Magic were. I guess Magic was still good, but Bird.
No, that is 88 is better because it is.
Bro, I be hanging around the old heads, bro. You know, you learn a couple of things. You know,
I don't even know who was All NBA in 2019. So,
let alone first team. I gotta refresh my memory.
I'm looking at 2019 All NBA first team. James Harden had to be there.
I have it actually. Yeah, James Harden, Curry.
I was gonna guess it. What you doing?
He was trying to do it off memory.
My bad.
Yeah. No, Dub, you ruined the game, man.
You were about to say KD.
No, move on. You ruined it.
You fucked up already, though.
I don't care.
You got it wrong. You about to say KD. You lost.
You ruined it.
Nah, because I'm looking right now. I want to stall time because I'm trying to see who's the best.
You ruined it.
No, it might be 88 actually. 88 is. No, 88 is pretty.
So Chris Paul, Tim Duncan, Kobe, KD, and LeBron.
No, 88 has Magic.
Any
Jordan,
team with Chris Paul on it is an L. Knock it off.
They have Magic. 88
knock it off.
You guys sleeping on the 1963 All NBA team. That's what you're doing right now.
Please stop about it.
What? Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell,
and Wilt Chamberlain.
D Wade, Kobe, KD, LeBron, Dwight Howard.
That's big.
Dwight Howard, shut up!
Oh
my
Dwight
God!
Howard in those years.
We're not gonna do Dwight Howard's prime like that, though.
We're putting up against Shaq and Hakeem and Bill and Will Chamberlain. Like
KD is cooking Hakeem.
I mean, Dwight defensively, you could say he's better than all those guys.
I'm going to ignore what he just said.
Bill Russell.
I mean, like,
I'm going to ignore what he just said.
Dwight Howard's defensive peak, I think, is right.
Don't do Dwight's prime like that.
What did you just say?
Wait,
Dwight Howard's defensive peak is below Hakeem's, but it's still better than Shaq's.
Okay.
With other centers you mentioned.
Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, see, time out. Bill Russell, again, an era thing. Bill Russell, like, I understand. He created new ways for the NBA to defend. But are we really going to compare Dwight Howard and Bill Russell defense with the era?
Yes, Bill Russell's better. Yes.
Why not?
I get what you're saying, but that's a tricky one.
Wait, but
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Even if you want to say that, I like how you specifically said his defensive prime. But as an overall player, Shaq is better. Hakeem is better.
No doubt.
That's
Kareem
facts.
is better.
Better than
I agree with that.
So like, I can't. So that's all I'm saying. Like, when we comparing them to these all-time All NBA teams, all first team of Magic, Jordan, Bird, Barkley, and Hakeem. Man, stop, bro.
Nah. Wait, what year was that? What year was that?
Wait, let's be real.
88. That's 88.
D Wade, LeBron, KD.
This is not something we need to be arguing this much. Jesus
No,
Christ.
because this is gonna be tight. I don't know. You don't know who D Wade was in 2010, bro. D Wade was like that.
You know who Dwayne Wade was.
Better than Barkley.
That's the third best shooting guard to ever play basketball.
He was better than Barkley.
No, I want to say
what backcourt would you rather have? Magic?
Because Bird's back wasn't the
I'll
guy.
rather have Kobe.
Bird's back was gone.
Would you rather have Magic and MJ over
Jordan?
Yeah.
Since we're gonna do this shit, I guess we're doing this. They ain't gonna be shooting like that. They can't space the floor with
I'm not gonna lie. Magic don't want to see Kobe or Wade.
Like, come on.
No. Respectfully. Dwight is not going to want to see Hakeem. Respectfully.
Okay, but guess what?
Respectfully.
When they bricking jump shots, when they bricking jump shots, guess what's going to happen? Transition game. Then Barkley, his fat ass. I mean, Barkley is.
No way.
Who's spreading the floor on that team, Low? Who's spreading the floor?
Come out with Doug, you just let him keep talking.
Who's spreading the floor, Low? Who's spreading the floor on that team?
They're not gonna be spreading the floor because they're playing legal defense back then. They ain't got spread. Come on.
That's facts. Yeah. If we doing all
you don't want to see Dwayne Wade with illegal defense. You don't want to see Dwayne Wade.
Michael on him.
Facts. You don't want to see Dwayne Wade in the ISO.
Michael on him.
And then who's checking Kobe? Magic. Oh no!
Bruh.
Checking Braun.
Michael never guarded no D Wade, bro. Stop that.
6'9", 280 LeBron James.
Stop that.
Don't Dub, you gotta end the show, Dub. You gotta end the show.
He's cooked, right? He's cooked.
Dub, you gotta end the show.
We gotta.
Is there even any rebounding on that team?
Read the super chats though.
Let's go. Best all. Oh, we got that one. We got that one.
Oh, Ticket TV up next.
Yeah.
Oh my
God! I'm coming here to cook his ass too.
I'm using NBA.com Mars, and it says Giannis is at 0.74 versus 1.05 points per possession for 80 when defending the pick and roll ball handler, and 0.77 points per possession versus 0.60 points per possession for AD when defending the pick and roll man.
Synergy said something different. That's why. So that's what it was.
Well, both of them are great defenders. But shout out to AD.
Yeah, they both are good.
Got you. Top three fave jersey all time, real quick. Go ahead, fellas.
Toronto Raptors jersey is the greatest. OG Toronto Raptors jersey is the greatest basketball jersey of all time.
The Grizzlies.
That old Washington Bullets. That West Suntail, baby.
Orlando Magic pinstripes.
Let's move on. Next super chat.
Classic Lakers.
CP3 choked up 3-1 versus Houston. He choked versus Golden State when KD got hurt. He choked versus OKC turnover in the clutch, and he blew 2-0 lead versus Bucks. Come on, LOL choker, man.
Okay, nice.
Ask the panel if Giannis a dirty player.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Bigger and stronger than most people, so
I think.
Dub, we don't have time.
He's a try hard.
There we go.
He's a try hard. Facts. CP3 also choked up against Dallas. LOL.
Cool. Okay.
Context.
If Jokic wins the MVP, doesn't go to the Western Conference. What's the narrative on him? Can't keep crowning a player for Damn. All right, you can fucking read it
Okay,
then.
can't keep crowning a player for only being great on one side of the ball. Two players are doing similar things on both sides. Jokic is not him. If he doesn't win, if he doesn't win because of his defense, that changes nothing he said about his offense.
No, I agree. Stop lying, Mars. Stop lying, Lo.
Yeah, and we crown one-sided players all the time. Steph Curry, Magic
all
Johnson.
the time.
Like,
Magic Johnson has like 3 or 4 MVPs.
Bill Russell was a one-sided player. Like, let's
the value of
we'll get into it later.
There is no way Mars isn't related. There's no way Mars isn't related to Lowski. Cool. That's a UK drill rapper. I think part of it is that the 90s was the beginning of cable television and the internet, so entertainment in the 90s expanded rapidly and is super glorified, but still extremely great, nevertheless. Nice.
Sure. That concludes this day of Open Gym, yo. Turn into Ticket TV. Y'all be easy.
Man.
Take it easy.
I had to cook them today, man. That's tough.
You ain't cooking